Football Show. My name is Danny Heifetz, and I'm joined by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck, and we are going over the NFL playoff games, baby.
Whoa.
Playoff games are here. The playoffs are here. It's one of the more fun playoffs I can remember, and even though the Giants aren't there, obviously, I am fucking amped for these playoffs. It's going to be awesome. We're going to go over all these games. We're going to go over the Dolphins firing Mike McDaniel. We have some emails that I am excited to run by you guys, but first, a reminder, our next episode is going to be on Netflix. Isn't that right, Danny Kelly?
Netflix? Really? Tell me about it.
I'm glad you asked. So, Monday morning, our playoff recap is going to be on Netflix. You can watch it there. And all of our episodes going forward, you can watch on Netflix going forward, or you can watch them on Spotify going forward, or you could just listen to them like a normal podcast on the podcast platforms you already listen to going forward. I want to just take 1 second to linger on this just to be really clear. So going forward, if you listen to this show as an audio experience, like you don't know what the hell we look like, you don't have to do anything. Nothing's going to change. You could just listen to our show. No action items required, unless if you want to pop on Netflix and put our show on Monday and just like let it run and you're not there, like that would be cool.
Try and guess which one of us is which.
I'm already like making all my friends and family throw on Netflix and then go to sleep at night and just have our show running.
Exactly. So it's going to be like sleep noises, and then our show are going to be like in the middle of the night. So if you listen to the show on Spotify or you watch the show on Spotify, also nothing is going to change, and nothing, whether you're on the Spotify app, they have video on Spotify now, if you don't know. So in the app, the web player, the desktop app, whatever, nothing you have to change. If you're watching the show on YouTube, then yes, our show is not going to be on YouTube going forward. The video of our episodes will not be on YouTube going forward for future episodes. And unfortunately, the audio of our show going forward will not be on YouTube either. However, all of our episodes of the Ringer Fantasy Football Show going forward, you can watch on Netflix. And if you don't have Netflix, or you do have Netflix and you just don't want to watch us there, you can watch the Ringer Fantasy Football Show on Spotify for free going forward, or listen to it everywhere. All right, we're going to get into the playoffs. I didn't think there would be any news that would happen that we would have to talk about before. But so Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins fired Mike McDaniel today. So we're recording Thursday afternoon. So on Tuesday, the Dolphins announced that Mike McDaniel would be helping hire the new Dolphins general manager. That was 2 days ago. And then today, Thursday, the Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, sorry, let me read here. It says on ESPN, he caught a whiff of John Harbaugh's pheromones and told Mike McDaniel to kick rocks.
Pheromones.
DK, what do you think of the Dolphins just deciding to keep Mike McDaniel with a statement of confidence and saying he can help pick the GM, and then like 36 hours later being like, nah, that guy sucks.
Yeah. That was we've made a huge mistake. Job waking up in the hospital bed. I've made a huge mistake. I think it's like, truthfully, just a bunch of good coaches got fired and they'd rather have one of those guys. Yeah. Like, that's the Occam's razor. This whole thing is they were prepared to go forward with Mike McDaniel, and then Harbaugh got fired, and they're probably going to go after him. I don't know. That was kind of my read on the situation. Unless like McDaniel said something super crazy in these like post-season interviews, I kind of doubt that was the case. But yeah, it's kind of a strange timeline. They definitely did this belatedly.
This is a weird coaching off-season cycle because it feels like John Harbaugh is the best coach available. The best landing spot, the best team that doesn't have a head coach right now is the Ravens.
You needed logs.
Right.
You needed logs.
And it's like Mike McDaniel gets let go from Miami and now immediately kind of becomes like the hotshot play caller that everyone
wants him. And they're going to fire their OCs to get him.
And it's like the Browns fired two-time coach of the year Kevin Stefanski, who's like another like young, really capable play calling coach that a lot of teams would want. And it's almost like, man, you guys... you already had good options, and now everyone's just going to be swapping. It feels like everybody is selling out a little bit for John Harbaugh. Like, John Harbaugh can only go to one team, and it feels like there's four teams that are like, ball. We got him. Yeah.
You know what? The expression that always gets used at this time of year, and the only time and only context in which it gets used, is he's got a full dance card. His dance card is full right now. What does that even fucking mean? What's a dance card?
Don't know.
Is that from the 1920s? What are we talking about here?
I think it's like
dance
speed
card
dating
is full.
When, you needed written form if I danced with your daughter or something. I don't know, but it's like Bridgerton shit. I don't know. It's funny the overall though. I do think what happened here. I do think it's kind of simple. Stephen Ross, who owns the Dolphins, is 85 years old and wants to win a Super Bowl. Same with the Falcons firing Raheem Morris. The owner's 83. Like, they want something. They want what they want now. Stephen Ross is the biggest donor to the University of Michigan. And when I say biggest donor, I mean they have a good business school. It's called the Ross School of Business because he gave them $200 million.
That's a weird coincidence.
I know, right? Crazy. So obviously Jim Harbaugh has quite the relationship with Stephen Ross because the biggest donor gets to know the coach very well. So to the point where Stephen Ross and Jim Harbaugh were so close that when the Dolphins needed a coach a few years ago, they refused to interview Jim Harbaugh because Stephen Ross said, and I wrote this down because I wanted to quote it exactly. He said, "I'm not going to be the person who takes Jim Harbaugh away from Michigan." So Stephen Ross loves the Harbaughs.
That also tells me that Stephen Ross cares more about the success of Michigan than the Miami Dolphins.
Yes, and that's also why Jim Harbaugh went to the Michigan instead of the Dolphins 13 years ago. So 3 years, they hired Mike McDaniel instead of interviewing Harbaugh. 3 years later, Mike McDaniel's fired because John Harbaugh, Jim's older brother, is available. I think this is very simple. They're gonna, and maybe I'm already wrong by the time people listen to this, but the Dolphins are going to want to hire John Harbaugh. They're going to hire Chad Alexander, who's the Chargers GM, assistant GM right now. He was with the Ravens for 20 years. 10 of those with John Harbaugh. He's going to become the assistant GM. They're going to go through the whole motions of the hiring process, and then they're going to hire John Harbaugh. And guess what? The next person in the chopping block is Joe Schoen for the Giants, because there's no way John Harbaugh's going to go to the Giants if he gets to pick his GM in Miami. So the Giants are going to now fire Joe Schoen after saying they'd keep him.
They're going to bulky him.
They're going to. There's no way the Giants will be competitive for John Harbaugh unless they fire Joe Schoen. So I actually think if the Giants fire Joe Schoen, that's them trying to negotiate for Harbaugh. But I do think it's that simple, as everyone's tripping over themselves to get him.
Yeah, I think everybody wants Harbaugh. Also, the Miami thing, I totally, I agree. The Ross connection, the Michigan connection, it's all there. But is Miami the best place to go if you're John Harbaugh? You have a terrible quarterback situation. You're paying Tua $50 million a year. Why would you go to Miami? I know old people like Florida, but what? Why would you go to Miami? I feel like there are better options here.
I'm curious. What do you think?
Money.
No, I don't. He's got money. I think you want to. Harbaugh's want to win. I think it's institutional control of you get to.
Everybody wants more money, Heifetz. Everybody wants more money.
I don't think money's the problem.
You're right.
Stephen Ross owns Hudson Yards. That's where all the rich people in New York. He built a city inside New York City for rich people.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
God, don't get me started on that. But I feel like, do you think Miami starting from scratch is a better place than the Giants at the other openings, DK?
It just depends. Here's the deal. I think if you're a coach and your dance card is full, as we always say at this time of year, I do think the relationships and the belief and confidence in the owner is a pretty important thing. Having an owner that is not going to meddle with your stuff, hire somebody, hire a GM that's going to kind of get in your way or whatever. It depends on how much power he's being offered, how much money he's being offered, and how he feels about the relationship with Stephen Ross, and how much leeway he's going to have to do what he wants. I think for a coach like Jim Harbaugh, the most important thing is, do I have full control of everything?
Yep. That's
more important probably than a quarterback.
Yes.
I don't know. They're
to them
close.
Control freaks. I agree.
Yeah. So that to me would be the big deal is the relationship with Jim. This whole Jim John thing is it's you couldn't get with the girl, so you got with her sister kind of deal. It's super kind of weird, but it is, maybe there's this established relationship there where he trusts Ross and knows that he's not going to fuck around with what he's trying to do, and he's just going to give him control to run the team. I think that would be the most important thing to John Harbaugh right now.
I think you're dead on, and Craig, I think you're right that if you look at it solely in terms of the players on the field, and you're the Dolphins have a $50 million hole with Tua they have to fix and no backup options. Why wouldn't you go to the Giants and Jackson Dart where they have more pieces? And why would you do that? But I think DK's right because
what's the relationship with the owners?
Well, that's the thing. The Giants have ownership entrenched in the front office, which I won't go on that rant, but they have two. But to your point,
that sounds horrible.
Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
John's brother Jim worked for Stephen Ross for 10 years. And it's not called that, but it's just that with extra steps. Stephen Ross gave hundreds of millions of dollars to Michigan, and then they gave tens of millions of dollars to Jim Harbaugh. It's Jim Harbaugh worked for his brother for 12 years. It's it's not that complicated. It's oh yeah, I know my brother. My brother says he's good to work for. It's kind of that simple.
Right. It's every other fucking job in the world.
Everything else. My brother. Oh yeah, my brother's worked here for 15 years.
Will you hire my brother? Yeah.
Well, we should also say that, Schefter reported that Harbaugh's not expected to conduct any interviews until next week. Do you think there's a chance that if the Packers lose and fire LaFleur, if the Bills lose and fire McDermott, that Harbaugh goes to one of those two teams, which are much more kind of organized, professional, high floor organizations right now?
I didn't even think about that. I think the reason the Dolphins are waiting is, let's just do it. They have to comply with the Rooney Rule. And
I was going to say, guess who else is a Michigan man?
I was going to say Schefter. Schefter,
I
love Adam Michigan Schefter. Man.
Yeah.
But Schefter also is the Michigan connection of Schefter, Brady, Stephen Ross, Harbaugh. They all know each other.
Illuminati. This is the football Illuminati.
It
right
is,
here.
Michigan
man.
men.
Michigan
it is.
men.
No, this is why the Dolphins. Again, it's a small world. It's not the Illuminati. It's like it's just people.
Skull and bones.
It is. That's what it is. It's why do you think that Tom Brady was going to go to the Dolphins on that? The Dolphins were docked draft picks because the NFL, in their mind, proved that Stephen Ross hosted Brady on his yacht, being like, play for us, come from the Patriots to the Dolphins, and I'll give you part of the team. It's because Steve Ross has known Tom Brady when he was in college at Michigan. They've known each other for fucking 20 years. Anyway, that's how business gets done, and football isn't any different. So that is how this is all being done. It's like the Chargers GM is going to get that job, the assistant GM is going to get the job because he was with John Harbaugh. The same way the Chargers current GM Joe Ortiz got the job because he worked for the Ravens for 25 years. You know
It'll
what I mean?
just be funny. I get the like whole, cronyism, whatever you want to call it. Like everybody's friends are working for one another. But if Matt LaFleur gets fired and you can go be the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, or you can go coach Josh Allen and the Bills, they're like, I wonder how far the Stephen Ross Michigan men connection can go. And it's like, so I can do Josh Allen and the Bills or Tua and the Dolphins.
There's a limit.
There is. I have to imagine, right?
Also with the Packers, there is no owner.
Correct.
That's the best owner of all. If Matt LaFleur gets fired, I think that would be the funniest thing ever. I would take him in 2 seconds.
I don't know he will. That seems ridiculous. But who knows?
So I want to linger on this for a little bit though. So we can talk more next week about whether John Harbaugh is even worth all this. However, Mike McDaniel, offensive coordinator, that's easy. He can have any job he wants. Eagles, Lions, Ravens, that's easy. Yeah. If John Harbaugh goes to the Dolphins, and then the Giants have to pick second, I want Mike McDaniel for the Giants. I know that's kind of crazy. Mike McDaniel's like cilantro.
Everybody wants him at this point. Even teams with like good OCs want him at this point. He's like, it's what Craig said at the beginning of the show. It's like, it's crazy that this guy gets fired and then is the most popular. Obviously, it's a slightly different job, very different job, just being the OC. But he's clearly very very highly respected. Yeah.
Usually the guys getting fired are like, it's like Antonio Pierce, Brian Callahan. And it's like, we'll never hear from them again. And now it's like, Jesus, we have John Harbaugh, we have McDaniel, we have Stefanski. These are like very qualified coaches.
A lot of guys have to go take like a little sabbatical in college or take a year off and rebuild their network, rebuild their reputation, fly under the radar for a while.
That's why I'm okay with if the Giants end up hiring Mike McDaniel. And again, I do think he's like cilantro, and that 20% of people are just going to be repulsed by him no matter what he does, just because.
What does it taste like? Vomit or something? What is
people think it tastes like soap.
It's like a genetic thing. And I just think people will always, especially frankly in New York, I think older people are going to be like, what the fuck is this guy doing? But if Harbaugh's archetype is the CEO and he can build an organization, and the pitch at least is we could build a competitive team year over year that builds through the draft, and we've done that for 20 years, the Ravens way, whatever, which is the Patriots way. The McDaniel argument is, don't you want a really cool offense? And that, he's a weird, quirky guy. When you're winning, that's sick. And when you're up 70-0 on the Broncos, that's awesome. And when you're losing, it sucks. But also, I would argue the issue is with the Dolphins is how they built their team and the players. Bill Barnwell at ESPN had a great point. How many players went through Miami and were on offense and were way better in Miami than they were before? Like Tyreek Hill had the best seasons of his career statistically in Miami. Jalen Waddle was better there once Mike McDaniel came. And that's not just like the 2022 season. Like Darren Waller came out of retirement and had his best snaps in Miami than he had in like 5 years. Jonnu Smith. Like Raheem Mostert came in at 20 touchdowns at like 31 years
30.
old.
Yeah, 31.
Like, the amount, like there's a lot of players that walked into Miami. Aaron Brewer, the center for the Dolphins, I mean, he might make an all-pro team at center for Miami. So I think Mike McDaniel, that's like 8 guys we just named that had the best seasons of their career when they went to Miami. So I look at the Giants and I'm like, he's weird, he's quirky. Like, if it works, it's cool. But I'm like, I kind of want him working with Jackson Dart because I think all the limitations of Miami are building around Tua, but I want to see what he could do with Jackson Dart.
I don't disagree. I wonder if he's going to get head coaching opportunities, if like Atlanta or Cleveland, 2 places he's already coached at. He was on Atlanta with Shanahan in the year they went to the Super Bowl and blew the 28-3. With Matt Ryan, if Matt Ryan comes in to be the president of Atlanta, is Mike McDaniel going to be an option there? It's funny.
And also, Matt Ryan won MVP in a Shanahan system. He's going to want a Shanahan system for Atlanta.
That's really
funny though, because it's like Atlanta for McDaniel. I mean, you obviously, I'm sure he wants to be a head coach over a coordinator at a good team. I would imagine he wants to be a head coach still, but like Atlanta's kind of similar to Miami, where it's like great running back, a really good receiver, a lot of pieces, quarterback's not there.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out.
You got to make this left-handed quarterback work.
It's weird. Well, you get a better. It's halfway between having one and having nothing. Like I think Miami, it's tough because if you cut to or you don't want to play him, injury stuff. But at least the Falcons, you have the chance that Penix comes back and is healthy. I also think I think Mike McDaniel would view Kirk Cousins as perfectly able to operate the way they want. I mean, Kirk Cousins. He started in Washington with Kyle Shanahan. That's kind of where, you know what I mean? Like that system and everything.
That's why I like Washington as a commander or as a coordinator also feels like an option.
Also, we didn't really talk about the Cousins thing, just as an aside. Cousins had his contract renegotiated. He's basically going to be a free agent after this year.
I still kind of think it depends because of what happens with the front office. And it's really up to Matt Ryan, which this is a weird situation because when Andrew Luck went to be the GM at Stanford, which is just how colleges work now, you need a front man as GM, and then either, depending on the power structure, like the head coach is going to make all the decisions, and the GM is just going to be some kid telling people, or it's like Andrew Luck's actually in charge or whatever, pitching people. That makes sense. But now we have this happening in the NFL. Like Matt Ryan with the Falcons, obviously Tom Brady with the Raiders. Troy Aikman went on with the Dolphins. I also think that's kind of why a little reason Mike McDaniel got pushed out the window. Is that, do you remember Troy Aikman talking about the Dolphins-Steelers game?
Yes, he was pissed about the end-of-game play calling by Miami, who wasn't pushing to score when they were down 21.
Even by Troy's standards, I wrote it down because I didn't want to misquote him, but Troy Aikman, who's 7 days ago, joined the Dolphins. This is what Aikman said about, I think it was December 14th or something, the Steelers Monday Night Football game, that the Dolphins lost. It was pathetic. Troy Aikman said, "I'm flabbergasted by what we've witnessed here in this fourth quarter with the Dolphins, and now they want to call timeouts. It is just about as ridiculous a fourth quarter as I've seen in a long time." And then he was hired to help the Dolphins hire a GM, and then 7 days later, Mike McDaniel was fired.
Wow.
That was I remember we talked about that on the Sunday night recap show, or I don't know if it was a Monday night game, I forget, but they were down 2-3 scores, and they were not pushing the ball down the field, and Aikman was fucking pissed.
Yeah, and so but these guys, this is the new trend, and I think the truth is, I don't know how much power these guys have, but I think to your point, DK, the Falcons and everything, it's it is kind of, I don't know what Matt Ryan thinks of Kirk Cousins, but I do think that's going to shape. I kind of just assumed the Falcons would bring Kirk Cousins back because I can't say enough. Michael Penix is having an ACL reconstruction in the other knee that he tore his ACL twice in college. So it's you can't depend on that. And I'm like, well, Kirk Cousins was good enough down the stretch. They won their last 4 games. They somehow tied for first in the division for Atlanta, even though they were eliminated from the playoffs in early December. I'm like, I don't know. I would just bring Kirk back. You're going to pay him. But I don't know what better option they're going to find. But, if
Kirk also kind of opened up Kyle Pitts. I think he'd be good for Drake London, the passing game.
I got to say, as a Steelers fan right now, I feel like I'm in a 30-year marriage in the 1950s where I'm just kind of locked into this thing and I'm kind of staring at my assistant and all the secretaries. I'm like, man, there's a lot of options. And I am kind of locked into this one person I've been with.
Societal norms just won't allow me to divorce my... No,
I am locked into this thing, I guess.
Meeting with the head of Menkins and... Yeah.
I'm like, man, McDaniel's opened up? Wow, all right. That sounds kind of interesting.
Dude, The Departed, when he's like, I'm Irish. I'll do this forever.
Yeah,
you know what we
that?
You know what's funny? We joked about that with the Steelers and Rudy's forever. We're Irish. We'll do this forever. I think we forgot that Rudy's actually are Irish.
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't even occur to me.
They have 3 coaches in 50 years. Yeah. By the way, I Googled what a dance card is.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're basically right, but it is funny. And there's another phrase that comes off of from a dance card. So a dance card is a small, often decorative booklet used at formal dances, especially 19th century balls, for women to log partners for each dance, preventing wallflower status and allowing polite refusals by declaring the card full with terms like "pencil me in."
Pencil me in.
Pencil me in. Comes from dance cards.
So this is Bridgerton, straight up.
Bridgerton, wow.
All right, well, John Harbaugh, Mr. Darcy. Sorry,
pencil in John Harbaugh from Miami.
Yeah. What's the main dude? I guess there's several seasons of Bridgerton. Heifetz, did you watch Bridgerton?
Oh,
who's the guy who's the popular guy? The older brother.
The Anthony Bridgerton.
I don't know.
See Jonathan. He's really fucking hot.
I didn't watch.
Dude, I gotta tell you, you didn't watch Bridgerton with Liz? Because I tell you, Liz watched.
I watched it with Skippy.
Liz did not watch Bridgerton.
Yeah.
DK, I think a universal experience for men who watch Bridgerton with their wife or partner is just watching them watch them come out of the water in their shirt soaking wet, and they're just jaw dropped, and you're like, shit.
Yeah.
That Jonathan Bailey.
Yeah.
Sexiest man alive, Jonathan Bailey.
Oh yes, that's who it is. Yeah.
But no, I don't think Liz watched Bridgerton actually.
Well, you're a lucky man.
What's the show that you have?
I won't
to watch
let
with
her,
Liz?
but yeah. What?
You won't let her. Speaking of 50s marriages,
I have kind of like a child lock situation on the television. She has
Parental
no idea.
control. That's why you got to
Yeah.
watch this on Netflix. Parental controls. You know,
She can only watch the Great British Baking Show, but she has no idea because she likes it so much. So it's fine.
no, but is that the show that you guys watch together in terms of like the atypical, not that what I would normally watch show?
What?
You guys watch as a couple? Because we're talking. Heifetz and I watch Bridgerton
Oh yeah, Bridgerton.
with our
like-
partners.
You're asking me what shows I watch with Liz?
Yes.
It's like when you make Liz watch like a Fast and Furious movie, and then it's like 2 for you, 1 for her. Like, what's the movie that
It's like,
you're
what
I-
show would you not ever watch, but then you did with her?
There aren't many. There's no show that like she's like big. Like she watches The Pit. I don't watch The Pit.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
It's kind of the answer is none. She doesn't really make me watch anything.
Wow, perfect marriage.
Well, a lot of the quote unquote girly shows I like we're watching Sex in the City. She's seen it a million
Okay,
times.
well, that counts. Yeah.
But I like it. I'm not being forced to watch it.
If men are listening, dude, if you have to make an olive branch and you want to watch a show with your partner, dude, Sex in the City is fucking so funny.
That's funny.
Well, speaking of, there's a college football playoff game Thursday night. There's a college football playoff game Friday night. And then there are 2 NFL playoff games on Saturday, 3 NFL playoff games on Sunday. And for shits and gigs, there's another NFL playoff game Monday night. So either you're single, you have an incredible relationship, or you're going to have to pick and choose your spots. Why don't we start with Saturday and just get into these wild card games? So, DK,
Yo,
Los Angeles Rams are at the Carolina Panthers.
Shakey's game.
at the Carolina Panthers is hilarious.
At the Panthers is funny. I also think it's funny that the Rams the Rams were favored by the Panthers by 10.5 in the regular season. The Panthers won. Yeah. And then the point spread in this game is exactly the same as the other one, even though the Panthers won. And the entire betting market's like, nah, that didn't even happen.
Yeah, this is a weird game. Obviously, we've talked about how to me, the Panthers are like the most pathetic playoff team of all time, even though technically speaking, there have been worse playoff teams per DVOA. This is the way that they eked into the playoffs, needing another team to win for them to get them into the playoffs is just so sad.
I like that DK's been harping on this so much as though his beloved Seahawks didn't make the playoffs at 7-9 and have an incredible win.
Actually, and that Seahawks team had a worse DVOA.
Okay. You're like, this is so lame
But
and
fuck
embarrassing.
them.
Did I tell you guys? So obviously the whole thing is the Seahawks won that game with the Beastquake.
Yeah.
I talked to, this is like a fucking annoying flex, but I learned this from Matt Hasselbeck. They ran the play wrong. Like that play was the reason he had to bounce it and like break all the tackles is because they didn't want to call the play because it was fucked up. And then they totally botched it. And the coaches were right. And then Marshall Lynch just fucking scored.
Wow. You know Matt Hasselbeck. That's cool.
Bit
Oh,
diff.
God.
Built diff.
That is cool.
I will say this is a funny stat, but according to Aaron Schatz, the DVOA king, the 5 out of the 6 worst playoff teams, according to DVOA, won. They won their wild card matchup. So we'll see what happens in this game. I think the Rams are outside of the Seahawks, according to to DVOA, the Seahawks and the Rams are actually 2 of the greatest teams according to DVOA ever. The Seahawks are the 7th best team per DVOA. The Rams are the 9th best team ever. They are the 5 seed because they lost to the other great team in the DVOA, or the Seahawks. They also lost to the Panthers. That did not help them. The Rams are one of the lowest variance teams according to DVOA, which means like they're just very, very consistent game in and game out. They always play well. They're not up and down. Their big fatal flaw is special teams. They're one of the worst special teams in the NFL. And that's been kind of like the thing that really ruined them in a lot of these games. It ruined them against the Seahawks. It ruined them against the Eagles when they lost to the Eagles earlier in the season. So I don't know, just looking at the Rams, I actually, in our, staff post, I picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl. I think that they're just like so good.
That's such an emotional hedge. You're such a coward.
They're still
You're such a coward. I picked the Seahawks to win.
Okay, that's fine. Agree. But I just wanted to pick the Rams because hopefully that will reverse jinx them and my Seahawks will.
Did you at least have the balls to write that in your blurb of like, I'm a Seahawks fan and I'm picking?
I was going to say, for theringer.com, you're basically just making a selection that is a personal internal hedge.
No, my entire career is based on reverse jinxing every other team so the Seahawks can win. That's the whole
publicly
basis.
You're saying.
I'm doing it right now. No, truthfully though, you guys are calling me a coward. But if the Seahawks end up facing the Rams, which they very well could in, I think, the championship round or the divisional round, I'm going to be very nervous because the Rams I mean, basically, if you look at the 2 games the Rams and Seahawks played this year, there was like a 2-point difference, like a 1-yard difference. Like both of these games were extremely, extremely close. Came down to the end. I just think the Rams are really, really good. And Stafford is fucking amazing. They have Puka, Devontae's coming back. They have a good run game. They have a really good defense. They have one of the best coaches in the NFL. I didn't just pick them to reverse jinx them or whatever. I really do think they're a very good team.
The Rams are the best team left, but there was something that I just felt wrong about picking them to win the Super Bowl. And I'm like, their biggest issues are covering punts and making kicks. And I'm like, that usually
it is
comes
scary.
up.
Yeah. They did fire their special teams coordinator. Maybe that'll make a difference.
That's
I know,
just the
DK,
anger. It doesn't fix anything.
My question for you is going to be, have these like last 3 weeks where the Rams have lost 2 of their last 3 games, has that affected your view of like the all-powerful Rams, the team that like a month or 2 ago everybody thought was the best team in the NFL? But I guess I know the answer to that question. The answer is no. If you pick them to win the Super Bowl.
No, not really.
Okay.
If anything, it's like a red herring thing. Like now they're lurking in the background, ready to strike.
They also 2 of those losses to Atlanta and Seattle, both of those came without Devontae.
I want to at least humor the idea that the Panthers can win because nothing will top Taylor Heineke really, really, really almost beating the Bucs with Tom Brady that ended up winning the Super Bowl. So that was another like 500 team division winner. And I feel like it just has to be a disaster. Like Stafford has to throw picks again. Bryce Young, I think in the first game threw 2 different touchdowns on 4th down. But I will say, I do think the Panthers, if they're able to run the ball with like Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard and like just not abandon the running game, it's funny because the Panthers offense is average sized. Because Bryce Young's really tiny, but all the receivers are really freaking big. It's like the head in the oven and feet in the freezer. It's room temperature. So if they are able to run, I do think there will be opportunities for their giant receivers like McMillan and Jalen Coker and even Leggett, who doesn't always play big, but they're big guys. I do think they can kind of body the Rams. And Bryce Young doesn't have a ton of margin for error. Like he doesn't really, not tall enough to see over the middle field, doesn't have the arm strength to put it at the outside, but he does have good touch. And I do kind of think that the same way he hit those shots in that first Rams game where they ended up winning, I think if the Panthers jump to a lead and the Rams tilt is the only thing is that I'd be interested in, because the Rams have had pucker factor ever since the Seahawks won that 2-point conversion. I think the Rams have kind of like mentally been like, what the fuck? We thought we were the best team in the league. But I mean, obviously, the Rams are probably going to fucking destroy Carolina.
The Rams season has been so weird because they lost to the Seahawks with that 2-point conversion, which was like wildly improbable. Like everything about that game was wildly improbable. They lost to the Eagles on a last second where they were going to kick the game-winning field goal. Or no,
Jordan Davis blocked it and returned it for a touchdown.
Was it tied at the time? I think it was tied at the time, and then they returned it for a touchdown to win the game. Was that what it was? Whatever the case is, they should have won that game, and then it was like a block kick. It was just like crazy circumstances. Against the Panthers, there was the 2 4th-down touchdowns. I believe, didn't Stafford throw a pick 6 in that game too?
Yeah.
And so there's just like the Rams losing, it has to be like some crazy act of God to happen.
Yeah.
It feels like, you know what I mean? So that is truly where like my confidence in them comes, is like they are just such a good team. They're very balanced. They're very good coach. They're very well coached. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. They have 2 of the best receivers. They have a good run game. They have a good defense. They can rush the passer. I don't know. When I look at that, they have like this weird schematic advantage that no one else can do with a 13 personnel. They just feel like a team that's going to, go through the playoffs and kind of kick everyone's asses.
This would be one of the more disappointing playoff losses in a while, because usually,
yes,
like we look like the Patriots, right? The Patriots went 14-3, and we look back at their schedule and be like, God, they had that one weird loss against the Raiders in week 1. But this is like as if the Raiders team made the playoffs and you got to play them again. I feel like it's so rare that the blemish on your schedule is the team you play in the playoffs, because obviously the blemish should not make the playoffs. So it's just very bizarre that the bad loss of the season is in the playoffs.
Right.
So they can't lose twice.
I really don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Unless something really weird happens.
Although, so the Panthers are one of 4 home dogs. Out of their 6 games, 4 of the 6 games, there are home underdogs, which is pretty incredible.
It's a really fun weekend. I mean, these games, maybe something will be uncompetitive, but it looks pretty awesome.
I was just going to add real quick that the other reason I'm like pretty confident in the Rams for this one is I saw this from Matt Okada, NFL. Matt Stafford's had like an all-time season from a clean pocket this year. He's thrown 42 touchdowns from a clean pocket. And the Panthers have the league's lowest pressure rate on defense. So I will say,
is it considered a clean pocket if it's at the 1-yard line and he just snaps
throws
the ball
it immediately?
And fade Devontae Adams?
Probably
it is. It is.
I think technically it is. Yeah.
So it's only 30.
I want to say one of the Rams' offensive linemen has already been declared out. So that could be like a wrinkle that does matter in this game. But
So
I'm not quite sure.
the other Saturday game is going to be the Packers are at the Bears.
Woo!
I mean, this is
This
awesome.
game is on Amazon Prime, I believe.
So, I mean, this is the second time they played Saturday. Obviously, the Packers and Bears played twice this season. It was awesome. The first game came down to Caleb Williams throwing a pick in the end zone that would have been a touchdown, walk-off touchdown. Then 13 days later, they played again, and then Bears had to recover an onside kick, and then Caleb Williams had to throw a fourth down touchdown, and then the best throw, one of the better throws in the history of the Bears in overtime to win the game, and it was insane. I got to tell you, I know Craig in particular loves the Bears.
I do.
I feel a little bit like Debbie Downer at Disneyland asking Mickey Mouse if they're scared of like a terrorist attack. But
That's
feel
a very specific
well,
situation.
I just watched it. But I was thinking about, I just kind of feel like the Packers are going to win.
I can't believe that it's great motivation for the Bears that they're not favored. The
I was
Packers are
shocked.
favored in this game.
I am shocked. So the Packers are favored by 1.5. I thought it was going to be controversial that I thought the Packers were going to win. Packers are the fourth team to ever make the playoffs after losing their final 5 games. And one of those was the Steelers last year, and they got ran off the field. And Jordan Love has not played since the last Bears game. The Packers have not won since the first Bears game. Like the amount of injuries, Micah Parsons, I kind of thought the Bears would be favored.
They actually only lost the last 4 to be.
Oh yeah, sorry,
To
last
correct
4.
you real quick, but yeah, still very bad.
Not great. So
Still not good.
that changes everything. I just think, not to be cliche, but Jordan Love's been here before and Caleb Williams hasn't, which matters to me. But the bigger one to me is just the Bears are the first team in NFL history to win 6 games that they were losing in the final 2 minutes, which is cool, but not to be a dick. But I'm like, why are you losing so many games in the final 2 minutes? That seems unsustainable. But I want to shout out Cody Alexander at Match Quarters, who's the man. And I was talking about this game this week, and he put it perfectly. The Bears are the March Madness team that leads the country in 3-point shooting, and those teams never win March Madness.
Well, can they win a game? They might win a game.
They might win a game, but the Bears are going to go cold. But here's the thing: it's the turnovers. The Bears literally have the most turnovers in the NFL on defense and the fewest turnovers in the NFL on offense. That's freaking random. And I know that's not fun to say, but like it's the truest and most predictable thing season over season and game to game that like you can't just do that all the time. The Bears don't get stops on defense. They don't, like the Jaguars also a lot of turnovers, but the Jags do get some stops. The Bears do not get stops on defense. They're a terrible defense if they don't get a turnover. And so to me, this whole game comes down to, will Jordan Love throw an interception or not? Because like the Packers don't throw a ton of picks. He's actually been way more disciplined this season. And when they've lost, it's not been the Packers can't move the ball. It's they get to the red zone, they don't score. Like the Bears get the last Bears game, it's like the Packers get to the red zone, but they couldn't score. The Panthers game, the Packers are moving the ball in Carolina, but Jordan Love throws picks. If he doesn't throw picks, I think the Bears are not stopping Green Bay in the offense, even though it's weird to say that about a team that last time we saw Josh Jacobs, he had 4 carries for 3 yards. But I don't know. I really lean Green Bay in this one, which is sad because I would rather the Bears win.
Yeah, I was going to say, to follow kind of the narrative that Craig has put forth that the Bears are going to win a Super Bowl at some point in the next like 3 or 4 years, it does kind of just feel to me, this is totally gut and nothing else related.
That's all there is, really.
That they're going to lose like in a very tragic fashion. Like they're winning late in the game. They lose on like a field goal at the last minute. And then next year they'll come back like a lot stronger and like more ready for the playoffs.
Very possible.
It's just like that's just how it feels. I don't know if that's going to happen, but
they've certainly exceeded expectations this year, being as good as they are. I don't know. I kind of am just like, no one excites me on Green Bay. Like I'm like, Josh Jacobs has not been healthy for 8 weeks.
They're a shell of their former team, kind of.
They don't have Tucker Kraft, who was their. It's like Christian Watson's banged up, and I like Christian Watson, but he's banged up. It's like Jordan Love hasn't played. And so I think the Bears have a lot of players that I like on offense. The Bears can also run the ball. I mean, the Packers 2 weeks ago got destroyed by Tyler Huntley and the Ravens because the Ravens ran for 300 yards against Green Bay. And I'm like, I don't know. This game's in Chicago. I trust the running game for Chicago much more than I trust the running game for Green Bay. And I'm like, and then you factor in like the skill position group and I don't know, Caleb with Ben Johnson's play calling versus Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. It's much closer to me. I understand why the spread is 1.5 because I do think it's a fairly even matchup, but I think I just like the talent on the offensive side of the ball with Chicago a little bit more than I do Green Bay. I understand that Jordan Love experience thing. I think that matters. He's been good in the playoffs, but I don't know.
That's all fair. I mean, that's why I thought the
close.
Bears would be favored. I thought the Bears would be favored, especially we talking about the run designs, like the way the Bears ran on the Eagles. I mean, the Packers, the defensive tackles, the center of the Packers defense is they just keep losing a defensive tackle every week for like a month. And I think you saw it against Baltimore. The Packers closer to Thanksgiving were incredible at stopping the run. Outside runs, like those Derrick Henry things weren't really happening in Green Bay 6 weeks ago and then they just get dominated by the Ravens in week 17. The vibes on one hand for the Green Bay are bad. Like they're the 7th seed 3 years in a row, and they just kind of laid down and they were like week 18 that we're so hurt we can't even play. And they benched everyone last week. But I want to just note one thing, which is one of those, if Green Bay comes out firing, we're going to be like, we didn't talk about this enough. Jordan Love hasn't played since he got concussed versus the Bears. And it was kind of a cheap shot. And Matt LaFleur said this week, I know a lot of guys took that hit that Jordan Love took a little personally. So I'm not saying we're going to go out there and play dirty or nothing like that, but we definitely are going to defend our brother. Oh, sorry, wait, that was not Matt LaFleur. That was one of the Packers players, but I realized that when I got to the brother.
I was going to say, that would be like kind of bulletin board material if he said something like that. But yeah, that's another variable. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. They're going to have some motivation there. I don't know. This one's tough. Yeah, this one's great.
I think Bill said that this is only the 3rd time in the history of football that the Bears and Packers have met in the playoffs.
The Bears, and to be clear, if I could pick, I'd rather the Bears advance and Caleb, this is the biggest game of Caleb's life, and I'd rather that than an injured
big game for him.
It's a more fun story if the Bears and Caleb magical run continues.
Green Bay will get slaughtered if they win this game and then go to Seattle in round 2. But the Bears advancing is like way more interesting because
there's also no love lost between the two coaches here, right? Like Ben Johnson and LaFleur don't like each other.
Yeah, I didn't mention that Ben Johnson's opening press conference with the Bears, he's like, we're here to I mean, all the stuff. Like, there's been a lot of trash talk. The handshake between them the last 2 games is like
just
broke
very
for
quick.
The fastest handshake I've ever seen, just like barely touching each other. Yeah. This is a great rivalry that now exists.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an old rivalry, but now it's like actually a rivalry again.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, I think this game is sick. The Bills are at the Jacksonville Jaguars, dude. 7 years ago or 8 years ago, the Bills and Jags had the saddest playoff game I've ever seen. It was a wild card game. It was like Blake Bortles Jaguars beat Tyrod Taylor and the Bills 10-3.
Yeah.
And boys,
Bortles should have won the next game too.
The Jags. Don't even get me started.
That was against Steelers, right?
No, it was against New England.
Well, that was the AFC Championship game, and the Jaguars absolutely deserved to go. And there was a bullshit call on at the end of that game. But don't even get me started because I had the Jaguars to make the Super Bowl at 100-1.
Sorry, for some reason I pictured the Steelers losing to the Broncos on that one play. That was
the Demaryius Thomas, Tim Tebow.
That's where my mind went.
All time.
Yeah,
I liked Tebow too. I was like kind of a pseudo Florida fan because I loved watching Tebow, and he was so fucking bad in the NFL. And him hitting, it was the first play overtime. Demaryius Thomas immediately 80 yards.
Well, they ran because the deal with that play
post.
That formation, they ran a motion out of that formation 22 times, and they ran the ball 22 times, and the 23rd time they threw it.
It's classic Steelers. Steelers always give up some giant, fucking massive play at the end of the game.
Larry Fitz.
I mean, literally Tuesday Flowers touchdowns like 3 days ago in the 4th quarter.
Right.
It's always what they do.
I feel like Bills-Jags is the classic. The Jaguars are the better team, but Josh Allen's the best player in the game. And Josh Allen has to be the best player in the world to win, but he has a foot injury. And I don't know, you guys, I think the Jags are going to win this game more handily than people think. Like, needless to say, Trevor Lawrence is hot right now, but I think this is a Josh Allen sideline game. Like, I think this is one of those, like, you're going to see a hair frazzled on the sideline, and you're going to see looking at the scoreboard, and you're going to see one of the graphics pop up that's like, Josh Allen hasn't touched the ball in 28 minutes and counting. You know what I mean?
I think I agree with you. I worry that this is the, like every analytics sports betting guru who has their model, everything's going to favor Jacksonville. Jacksonville's like the analytics darling right now. And this is the most important. I think this is now maybe the most important game of Josh Allen's career. Like we talked about this.
Screw JJ McCarthy. This is a big game for Josh Allen.
We're going to learn a lot about Josh Allen on this weekend. But like we talked about this a month ago, no Lamar and no Mahomes in the playoffs. Like this is the time for Josh Allen to make the Super Bowl. And if he gets bounced in round 1 against the Jags, I know the Jags are good, but just the way that sounds, round 1, Josh Allen loses to the Jags when there's no Lamar and no Patrick Mahomes is brutal.
My small tweak is like 1 year ago, Josh Allen, they were in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs team that lost the Super Bowl. They were down like 40 points.
But like losing to Patrick Mahomes to me is like, okay, you lost to Patrick Mahomes.
You're a footnote in history. Yeah.
Losing round 1 in a playoff where there's no Mahomes and Lamar is we're going to look back on this and be like, what a massive missed opportunity for Buffalo.
maybe you're right. I look at it as no one wants to believe that the Jaguars are as good as they are.
That's 100% true.
But no one wanted to believe the Bills were as good as they are 5 years ago or 4 years ago until they went and they proved it. And I think the Jaguars are on the precipice of that. Look, the Jaguars, it doesn't just need to be Josh Allen being amazing. Trevor Lawrence could be a pumpkin and throw another 4 picks or something like he did that Chargers game. Like even 2 months ago, Trevor Lawrence was having 4 turnovers in a game. But part of me just thinks that's over. And again, think about the teams that were punchlines until they're not. The Lions, the Bills, like it happens. And I kind of think if the Jaguars were the Packers, like if the same team and with Cohen and everyone, but they were just the Packers, no one would be like what you just said, where you're like,
you're 100%
you can't
right.
lose to Jacksonville. It's like the Jaguars are pretty good, man. And you're
right.
I
agree with you. I think they're going to win, but I'm worried.
For the
scary
Jags.
to bet against Josh
I think the
Allen.
Jags are going to win, but I fear that everybody feels that way. Like as hard as it is for a team with Josh Allen to be that nobody believes in his team, I think nobody believes in the Bills, and no one's going to take the Bills.
It's true.
The thing that I keep thinking about with this game is kind of funny because it feels a little bit like this year, and I don't know how to put it without like sounding insulting, but it feels like they took the superhero a little bit out of Josh Allen, and they're like, we're a really good run team. You know, James Cook is the leading rusher in the NFL. We're just going to run the fuck out of the ball. We don't have a lot of receivers. So, like, it feels like it's been a minute since Josh Allen has gone Superman and done something crazy. Maybe I'm forgetting, like, a recent thing that he did. But, like, this game schematically is set up for Josh, put the team on your shoulders and fucking carry us. And I'm, like, just, like, kind of waiting for that to happen because the Jags are a really good run defense team. That is like what they do on defense. And theoretically they could shut down James Cook and basically make the Bills one-dimensional on offense. And now the question is, do you want to make them one-dimensional on offense? Probably. But now you're saying, hey, Josh, you go do it.
DK,
instead.
I could not agree more with what you just said.
I'm like, that makes me nervous if I'm a Jags fan. I'm like, I'd rather lose to James Cook than fucking Josh Allen kind of deal.
Also, Heifetz, what you were saying about Chicago, like Chicago's really dependent on turnovers, the turnover margin. Jacksonville a little bit the same way.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears have the most turnovers in the league with 33. Jacksonville is second with 31.
Yes.
They have the third biggest turnover margin in the NFL. So there is a little bit of like, Jesus Christ, if Trevor Lawrence like gets a little bit tight, throws one pick, Josh Allen doesn't turn the ball over. Now all of a sudden we're in a negative turnover margin, and you're facing Josh Allen.
I totally agree, and I think the thing DK said, like it's a joke, but it's not a joke of like, do you have the luxury of watching all of these football games between Thursday and Monday night? And this is one I would not miss because of what DK said. The chances that it's either a passing torch game of like Trevor Lawrence is actually incredible, or what DK said about this could be a Josh Allen like superstar game. I agree.
You're waking up the Hulk. Come on out, Hulk.
Come on.
That's what I feel like by stopping the run. You're like, you're
Poking
fucking
the bear.
Yeah. That's
Jelly. Come on out, Jelly.
We always say, I feel like we're always like, don't abandon the run. It's like the Bills should absolutely abandon the run in this game. Like
this is the rare occasion where you're like, okay, Josh, you need to go do everything in this game. We don't care if you get hit.
They're going to go for it on 4th down. I don't know what the kicking rate. They have their 2 options at kicker are going to be Matt Prater, who's 41 and pulled his quad last week. So it's a 41-year-old coming off a quad injury. So what is the kicking range of that? Or Matthew Wright, who they just signed at the practice squad. Either way, the go for it range is going to be huge. So
meanwhile, the Jags have the guy who can kick a field goal from 70 yards.
Yeah, there's like a 30-yard difference in field goal range in this game, maybe, depending on what's going on. I mean, their kicker has a quad injury. It's like he's a full participant. I don't care. It's like, what if he aggravates it? He's 41. Yeah, I agree. Okay.
I mean, I want to be clear. Josh Allen has been very, very good this year. He has a lot of touchdowns, but I just feel like he's going to have to go like super duper crazy for them to win this game. And they're going to be asking him to do that. Yeah.
And I think the Bills should play like the Rams. Like they should put a 6th offensive lineman in the field. They should put 3 tight ends and then like, don't even bother establish it. Just throw the whole fucking game off play action. Speaking of which, well, no, not the Rams. Sorry. The next game on Sunday is the Chargers are at the Patriots. Which
yes, this is the Sunday night game. Right?
Oh, did I get this backwards?
Yeah, I think.
Actually, I did get this backwards. Sorry, yeah.
You want to do it?
Yeah, let's. I don't care. And people can hear I'm stupid.
Well,
I think this game's this game's at 8 p.m. on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, Sunday night. It's in New England. The Patriots are favored by 3.5 over the Chargers. I said, I think Josh Allen and the Bills are like slightly a nobody believes in us. The actual nobody believes in us team. People are like, the Panthers can never win. No one thinks the Chargers can do anything in the playoffs.
Right.
Like they're not even in the conversation. That's how nobody believes in us they are.
I'm not sure I believe they even made the playoffs.
I think it's I'm like, wow,
Did
the
they?
Chargers were 11-6. How did they do that? Dude,
There's no way.
The offensive line numbers for the Chargers after Joe Alt went down are absolutely astonishing. I'm going to read you some right now. The 25 different 5-man offensive line combinations over 17 games. 25 different offensive line combinations.
I think it might be 29.
Oh, I just saw 25. Justin Herbert's been sacked 54 times, which is the second most in the league behind Cam Ward. Herbert was hit on a league high 129 dropbacks, which is the second highest of the last 25 years since they started the stat of QB hits.
Wait.
Second highest.
That's fucking crazy.
It's remarkable that this team won 11 games. Like, it really is. And it basically, their defense has held a lot of it together. Herbert's been good, but since Joe Alt went down, they basically just been like a bottom 10 offense. Like, every stat, they're like 27th, 29th, 27th, points per drive, yards per play, all that stuff. They just like have not been good. And their defense has been really, really rock solid. They have some really good gritty wins this year. But, you know, this is a very interesting test of like, I trust Herbert. I believe in Herbert. I think Herbert's really good. I don't think they have the horses. And I think New England is really, really rock solid. And this is the one game where I actually do think I'm not sure I believe in the Chargers.
Dude, the Chargers are going to be on their 7th or 8th left tackle in this game. Like, they have 4 left. All their offensive linemen who are good are hurt, and all the ones who are bad are healthy. Like, obviously Rashawn Slater got hurt at left tackle, and they were like, maybe Joe Alt left tackle. But then it's like, they were like, Trey Pipkins can play left tackle, and he got hurt. And then like Jamari Salyer, I can't pronounce his name, got hurt. But like that, they're down 4 left tackles. So they're trying to find, and then they keep playing guys that are unplayable, and they bench him. It's like they traded for Trevor Penning, and they immediately benched him. They tried playing Bobby Hart, who hadn't played there in years, and they benched him. And then like Austin Deculus. Chargers fans are like going to treat Austin Deculus like Ravens fans are going to treat Tyler Loop. They blame the entire season on him. But it's like, I am open to the Chargers winning this game, but part of me is just, Bill Simmons has his gambling manifesto. I don't know if a rule there is don't bet on teams who've had 7 left tackles in 17 games, but I mean, there's nothing I could hear.
There are literally the worst offensive line in football, and they're in the playoffs, which is just completely bizarre.
Yeah, there was like moments during the year where they just had to abandon any hope of making a pass play, and they just like were having Herbert run it immediately. They're just like, just get out of there. Just go.
It looks like you dropped Justin Herbert onto the old Steelers offenses with Roethlisberger, except he can move. But they're like, it's crazy how limited they are. But yeah, no.
I was reading, there was a piece in the Athletic by Daniel Popper on Harbaugh. Did you guys know that he hangs 3 signs up in the locker room?
Oh, it's more than that. It's fucking, there's so many signs there. It's crazy.
Well, I don't know. Daniel Popper says he's got 3
Oh, sorry, in the locker room. Yeah. The weight room had 12. I took a picture of it.
Take that up with Popper.
Sorry, Popper. Popper's great.
Harbaugh, the 3 signs in the locker room, one of them says in all caps, bringing it home, arrow, together. Another one says TED, there every day. And then the third one, did you know this? That he has a rankings, Harbaugh has a rankings in the locker room on the wall, and it's called the Block of Granite Award.
Love that.
And he and his staff have developed a mathematical formula to determine the team's MVP, and the first place finisher gets a trophy with a literal rock on it. And the next 5 players get smaller trophies with smaller rocks.
That's how the real MVP should work.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like the whole article was just every single player.
Who
being
is
like,
the Rock of Granite right now?
I don't know if they've given it out.
Oh, they give it out at the end.
I'm not sure. Every player was just like, Harbaugh's the best. I would run through a wall for this guy. He's out of his mind. He loves us so much. He motivates us so much.
They also has the high school recruiting stars on the guys' lockers. And then the other one, what I confused with the weight room, I was walking by because they have like outdoor because it's like, it's near LAX. And I've never seen so many signs in a weight room. There's like a lot of reading material. It looks like a college.
Like the color of your urine?
No, it's like
Bad
very
teammate.
elaborate quotes.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of reading. And then I asked players about them and they're like, oh, they're kind of high. I can't really see them. And I'm like, what is going on?
I want to know who gets the Block of Granite Award. If it's not fucking Justin Herbert.
He is a block of granite. I wouldn't vote for Herbert for MVP, but I still think if you took all the quarterbacks off their teams in week 1, that the Chargers would lose the most games that they won.
Chargers offensive line, 31st in pressure rate since week 9.
The Patriots are winning this game, man. I'm sorry.
It's just going to be really hard. Also, the Patriots have Milton Williams back. They're good defensive linemen.
The middle game on Sunday is 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. Is the Niners are at the Eagles, which is just a giant wow. These games used to be a lot cooler a couple of years ago.
I still think this game is cool. I'm actually very excited to watch this game because I feel like
you say that, And then you watch the Eagles.
When was the last time you were excited to watch an Eagles game? It was months ago.
That's fair. I do kind of like the 49ers in this game. This is a total gut thing. It's like on paper, everything would go against that. Because number one, I think the injuries are the big thing for the 49ers. Obviously, they're missing two of their best defensive players, but Trent Williams still not practicing as of Wednesday. His status is looking up in the air. Ricky Pearsall doesn't look like he's going to play. He re-aggravated his injury. Those PCL injuries are horrific. Like
Pearsall, man.
Yeah. Been a tough year for him. Also related to the injury situation, I saw this is a prelude to the actual analysis of the game. But did you guys see this conspiracy going around Twitter these days? I think we've talked about this in the past, but
they have an electrical.
There's an electrical.
Yes, I did see this.
Like interchange, whatever, electrical substation right next to the practice facility.
So it's the players.
It's like,
started
did you live
theory.
under power lines as a kid kind of deal? Like they are, according to this guy, Peter Cohen, who kind of like tracks all this stuff, like the injuries for the 49ers, they're like orders of magnitude worse than every other team over the last like 10, basically since moving to Levi's Stadium in 2014. They've had like so many more injuries than everyone. And the theory is, the thesis
it's like bone density issues because of like electromagnetic radiation.
Electromagnetic fields apparently, according to Peter Cohen, which I think this is not necessarily fact. There's some people that would dispute this, but it can degrade collagen, weaken tendons, cause soft tissue damage. Basically, it's like they're practicing inside a Bluetooth earbud. You know what I mean? Like people are worried about these earbuds and interfering with your brain. Like the 49ers are practicing in a Bluetooth earbud.
Which is your nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, they can't get it to fucking connect.
It's one of those things where you're like, if you hear like 50 theories like that, you're like, I know that 5 of these are true, but I don't know which 5. And but the players started this. I don't think fans started.
Yeah.
The players were joking about it, and George Kittle said that they've been joking about it for years, and it's like kind of gone on longer than they thought.
I like it. I'm in.
Of course.
I'm 100% in.
It's anti-Bluetooth. I'm pretty sure there's no data to suggest Bluetooth is bad for you, but maybe there is. Also, you look at the Chargers. The Chargers are right next to LAX. Honestly, like worst air quality in the world. Who knows what's going on in LAX?
Just being coated in jet fuel.
Because before, when they were in San Diego, they were fine. Nothing.
They were great.
They were doing great. I don't know. The Niners. I mean, speaking of the injuries, dude, the Niners front seven is so decimated, dude. I mean, they started the year with Fred Warner as like the best linebacker in the NFL, and now they're gonna have freaking Eric Kendricks who's gonna play for the Niners in this game, which blows my mind because he was so washed like even 2 years ago for Dallas. Like he was 2021. He got Mike Zimmer like he couldn't play in 2021, and then somehow was playing in 2023. The idea that Eric Kendricks will play a playoff game for the Niners in 2026 now is insane. Like they're down 4 defensive linemen, 5 defensive linemen. They're playing guys that the Patriots basically cut starting. I don't know if Lane Johnson comes back at left or at right tackle. I just feel like the Eagles' offensive line's not what it was, but I think it's still enough to road grade the freaking Niners front seven. I don't know. I just maybe I'm just having way too much faith in the Eagles. But
the 49ers defense is really not good right now, but I still believe in the 49ers offense. I think Brock Purdy is obviously going to be a huge key in this game. I think if he's sneakier than he's ever been sneaky in this game in terms of just running around making plays. I also just have a ton of faith in Kyle Shanahan. I know there's a bunch of stats going around about how bad he's been against Fangio, but this was like with different quarterbacks.
So Shannon's never scored 15 versus Vic Fangio's defense, but also the quarterbacks were like John Beck and Nick Mullins and Jimmy G and like washed RG3. So it's like,
I just think it feels like we're forgetting how good the 49ers were like a month before, the month prior to losing to the Seahawks. And now everyone's like, oh, they suck. I'm just like, man, I still am pretty afraid of the 49ers in terms of like what they can do on offense. They're very good. What Shanahan can do in scheming up. I don't have a ton of faith in what the Eagles are going to do on offense, even though they're playing a bad defense this week. I don't know. I just like the 49ers. This is a total gut thing. They'll probably get their asses kicked, but I just like the 49ers. We don't have to bet on this, but I like the 49ers.
We do have to bet on it, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Well, we can bet against them if you want, but
I just can't believe the Niners could have been the 1 seed if they just won the last week of the season. I still can't get over that.
They were scoring like 40 points a game for the previous 4 or 5 games. They were just absolutely on a tear. No one was playing better than them for like the month prior to that Seahawks game. And then now we're just like, they suck.
That's fair. I think my trouble with this game is I'm starting to have trouble being objective because I want the Niners to win so bad, but I think deep down in my soul, I think the Eagles are going to win. And as much as I don't want to watch the Eagles, I do think this team is kind of built to work in the playoffs. And I think from a talent perspective, they're way better. And I'm like, man, they can drag this Niners team down into the muck. And this is going to be the ugliest game ever. And they can win 20-13.
They're healthier, which helps a lot. They're getting Lane Johnson back. Yeah.
I mean, the injury.
And they took a
reports do
game
matter.
off to rest up.
Are there two teams where a tackle makes you care more about missing the game than Trent Williams and Lane Johnson for the Eagles and Niners? But I just kind of come back to the Eagles are just they're just a python. They're just going to squeeze the life out of the Niners. But I mean, I would also, the Niners are way more fun to watch play football, and it would be cooler if they advanced.
Move your practice facility away from this electrical grid thing.
It's so funny because like conspiracy theories like that, like 19 out of 20, I'm like, that's stupid. But every now and then I try to be humble and remember shit like Marie Curie was like handling fucking radium with her hands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who knows what
we
we'll
were
know in
drinking out of
50
fucking lead cups till whatever.
Have you seen
recent.
the Spider-Man meme of like, it's like my grandfather with asbestos and my parents with lead and me with my microplastics?
Like,
and it's just
they used to put fucking sandboxes full of asbestos. Come on.
Dude, New York Times had this thing that they think there's like 4 to 5 pounds of plastics that will be in our bodies by the end of our lives. Like that. 4
My
or 5
God.
pounds. Like there will be like half.
Seems
a pound
fine.
Anyway. On that note, I have a question for you guys. So wait, Craig, this last game here is Monday Night Football. The Houston Texans at the Pittsburgh Steelers, the division champion Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. Look, everyone's on the Steelers right now.
Are they?
Which makes me nervous. Yeah, I think a lot of people are like,
name 3.
I think this is the natural progression of Pittsburgh. Every time they win a good game, they usually lose a bad one right after it. And when they blow the game to the Browns, everyone's like, the Steelers suck. And then they go and they beat the Ravens. And now it's like, oh, the Steelers, they're at home. They haven't lost a Monday Night Football game since the George H.W. Bush administration, which is true. Even though they technically did in the pandemic, there was a game on Monday that they lost in Pittsburgh, but it was moved to Monday because of COVID, and it was at 2 p.m. Pacific.
So Monday
afternoon. So it wasn't Monday Night Football, but they did lose on Monday in
How many
Pittsburgh.
games are we talking here total? In terms of the Monday night,
it was 23
23-0, I think.
The last 23
Oh,
games.
that's actually pretty
It is
big
pretty
number.
good.
Yeah.
But
pretty
we
good.
obviously-
What do you mean pretty good? That the best season in NFL history is like 19 straight games. That's the Dolphins. 23-0
No, that's
is
good.
fucking
That's what I
insane.
said. It's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, and also they
It's
they
like
did lose.
5. It's like totally different iterations of the team.
They
but
did
sure.
lose in 2020. When I
I
saw
know,
that,
but
I
it
was
just-
like, what are we doing? They lost in 2020 at home on a Monday. That's a loss.
I know, but the odds of winning 23 straight games are fucking infantile. Like,
They didn't.
What's the odds of winning 24 straight?
They didn't win 23 straight.
They're fucked.
Yeah, look, analytics aside, I'm kind of just like, I'm terrified of the Houston defense, and the Baltimore defense was terrible. And DK Metcalf coming back is great. I love the DK Metcalf memes that he was posting after the Steelers beat the Ravens and made the playoffs, like that he's free and he's like getting out of jail. I love that. That was great.
Did you see that he tried to like get dressed and go down to the stadium?
Yes.
To like celebrate with the team after the win, and
already
then
left,
everybody had
stuck in
left by
traffic.
the time he got there.
He's like walking home like,
It's like fucking sad.
the Michael Cera meme of him walking home with his head down.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I think the spread in this game, I think, has dropped to 3. I think the Texans were favored by 3.5. Now it's 3. I don't know. I'm nervous. I think the Texans have quietly won 9 straight games. And I think there's like a lot of fun storylines around the Steelers, from myself included. Like I'm super happy they made it. I think Rodgers is playing really well. All that good stuff. I'm terrified that they're playing Houston. And Houston's never won a playoff game on the road in the history of the Texans. They've never won a playoff game on the road. So it's like all that stuff playing in Pittsburgh, I don't know. I'm just very nervous for the Houston defense.
This is totally outsider perspective, and I don't actually really know what's happening in the locker room, but it feels like a very smug point of view from the Steelers players, because people were saying Tomlin should get fired earlier.
Yeah.
There's like almost like a little bit like you're putting the cart before the horse. Like you still got to win some playoff games here. Like, isn't the main thing that people were really upset about with Tomlin was like you can't win in the playoffs over the last however many years?
Yeah.
How long has it been since like 2016?
Since the 2016 season.
coming up in 10 years.
It's technically 2017 when they won.
So like this is totally narrative based, but like it feels like everyone's like fuck you for ever saying anything about Tomlin. I'm like, Tomlin still has to win a playoff game. Like,
How about this? How about this?
We're still where we were before.
How about
Yeah,
this?
that's what he does all the time.
The Ravens were so bad this season that John Harbaugh was fired,
Right.
and they still had a 44-yard field goal to win the division and beat the Steelers.
Did you guys see the meme? It was like the Tyler Loop kick, and it was like on the left side, it was
Harbaugh fired.
Yeah,
Harbaugh fired.
I said that
in
to you.
between, yeah, that's right. Craig sent it. In between the uprights, it was
Tomlin
Tomlin fired, and then on the right, it's Harbaugh fired. It's like just that kick has so many like potential down the road implications. But anyways, my point is like it feels like they're being pretty smug. Especially Rodgers. Rodgers is always like this, after a win. But
And I respect it. I like that, actually. But
I'm just like, you guys didn't actually prove anything yet. Like,
No,
go win a playoff game.
And I don't necessarily think this is like, I don't trust CJ Stroud. I've been talking about him all year about how I don't trust him. So it's not like the worst
Right.
matchup in the world in terms of like the offense the Steelers are facing. I probably would have rather played the Chargers. But so like, do I think the Steelers can win? Yeah. Like if Rodgers could just outplay Stroud and DK Metcalf back is a big deal. And it could work. And I think they could win 20-16. And Stroud looks like shit. And Stroud is terrible under pressure. And the Steelers could generate pressure because the Texans offensive line is not good. Like there is a roadmap to the Steelers doing Steelers stuff and winning 20-16. I'm just nervous on what the Steelers are going to be able to do offensively.
I mean, look, the Steelers offense, they have to put 6 linemen on the field. They have to try to be big and get some
They have no
points.
Darnell Washington, which sucks. And is a
Yeah,
big deal.
exactly. And they need Stroud to turn the ball over, and like they just need to get some dumb points. But if we're being honest, I'm not really interested in going into X's and O's. I want to talk to you guys about this priest and God.
Where's the priest?
I don't think we could talk enough about the fact that kick was made in the end zone where the priest put the holy water and blessed the field.
Yeah.
The priest storyline feels so like John Wick coded. Like it's somewhere in the John Wick world.
And Rodgers
got
famously,
this priest from like somewhere deep in the old country and brought him in, and he blessed the field.
I've done a lot of work on this priest.
Is a big John Wick fan. Went as John Wick for Halloween.
Oh, that's right.
I did a lot of work
Oh
on
my
this
God.
priest. All I'll say is, Craig, question for you. Do you think that was the Steelers kind of used up the miraculous energy already and that was used on that game? Or do you think, I mean, Bill Simmons has his playoff gambling manifesto, and one of the rules is don't bet against God, puppies. And I'm like, we should probably discuss whether we think God is on the Steelers side or if that was kind of like just for that week.
I mean, the Immaculate Reception was what, 50 years ago?
53.
We've had God on our side since then, baby. We always got it.
God hasn't been around much since 2016.
The only reason why the Steelers ever win games is because of divine intervention. Like, let's be honest. Every game they've won is because of the Lord stepping in.
He's like, I can only do so much.
Yeah, like the Lord gets us to 10-7 every single
obvious.
season. Yeah, he's very involved, actually.
That's funny.
It's like Game
So,
of Thrones.
Heifetz, who is this priest? What's the story?
Well, so the story.
Is he a Pittsburgh priest, or did they bring him in? Did they ship him in from Italy?
I looked
from
into
the
it and it
Vatican?
ruined the magic for me. I don't know.
Okay.
Do you guys want me to ruin it a little for you?
Is he like don't tell me he's like a paid actor or something.
No. He's a real priest.
He's like a Vegas priest. He can marry you.
He also does Elvis. Yeah.
I'm going to ruin this for everybody listening.
That'd be so funny if he was like a paid actor.
They do this for every game.
Oh, do they? Oh, that's funny.
This is what
For
I'm
like
saying.
50 years.
God, there you go.
When it works, it
And
works.
God's been there, baby.
Yeah, they started but apparently it was the interesting part to me was it was a sub priest. So it's St. Vincent and Latrobe where they do the training camp. I guess it's a private Catholic college, and they have a relationship spiritually, like the priest and the team. But it was the backup priest who did it, which is the part that interests me. It's not the
Interesting. Bring
usual
him
guy.
back.
But
He's getting Wally. The first guy's getting Wally Pipp.
Yeah.
This
The
guy's
first
coming. They're
priest.
bringing this guy back.
Are we sure that first priest is good? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
This is Ewing theory.
We traded up for that guy.
Priest Ewing theory.
Didn't we trade a first for him? He's not worth it. It's a Trey Lance, Brock Purdy
Oh my
situation.
God.
It's the Drew Bledsoe of priests. Oh my God.
That's really good. We're gonna go with the backup today, guys. Wanted to
that's
sit
the
you all
thing.
down and talk about it.
We joke, but if the Steelers beat the Texans, then like that first priest is never coming back. Like, what are they gonna do? Swap priests?
Look, in my soul, my gut says that the Steelers are going to win this game, which terrifies me. And I need to know that it's because I'm I'm getting too swept up in the hoopla of last week. And this is what the Steelers do, especially in the playoffs, as we know. But I do think in my heart of hearts, I think they're going to win.
The younger me would have said that the Houston Texans defense is going to absolutely dominate the Steelers, and the Steelers have no chance. DK, you're the wisest of all. I'm curious. My current version feels, and I'm half kidding, but I half actually believe in this stuff. I think if the priest from last week shows up, the Steelers win. And if the old priest shows up, I think the Steelers lose.
I think that's how we really should decide it.
We should bet a ton of money based on if the priest shows up.
You said the old me, the younger you, would have picked the Texans because they have a fucking good defense.
Right.
So it's the bell curve thing. That's Heifetz as a young man. I'm on the other end of the bell curve. I'm looking at the Texans and saying, they have a fucking good defense, and they're going to absolutely strangle like anything the Steelers try to do on offense. And it's going to come down to how many turnovers does CJ Stroud make or whatever. I'm picking the Texans in this one. I don't feel strongly about it, but I do feel strongly that the Texans have by far the best unit in this game. That doesn't always matter, obviously. And they're on the road in Pittsburgh. The vibes are high in Pittsburgh, whatever. I'm betting on I'm betting on the Texans defense. That's all.
You know what it is? I think in all seriousness, though, I think you're right, DK, because if you just turn that game off after Steelers Ravens, you fell asleep after the third quarter and just were like, didn't watch any of the highlights. You would just remember that the Steelers went 6 quarters without a touchdown for the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career. And that 2 weeks ago versus the Browns, the Steelers had 6 points. And it's going to be like that. I kind of think, yes, the Steelers could win because crazy shit happens. But I kind of don't think the Steelers even score a fucking touchdown. It might be.
It's gonna be.
Here.
This is such a cliche. I know it is a cliche, but it's gonna be like, can Rodgers pull a fucking rabbit out of his hat?
This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm like I'm
DK
incredibly
Metcalf?
terrified of this Houston defense, and yet, I don't
He's
know.
done it before. This is
every fucking Steelers game. Every Steelers game is like, man, on paper doesn't look good, and then they win.
I know, but also sometimes they lose. On paper.
It's like the priest thing. And then also sometimes it just doesn't work.
Especially in the damn playoffs. So it's like, it's why my initial take was like, I'm terrified of the Houston defense and it might be a disaster. And yet deep down somewhere in me, I think the Steelers are going to win. But that might just because I'm getting swept up in all the fun of last week.
Well, with that said, I think we got to get it. So we have some emails here. I want to run some stuff by you, but we got to do this Ringer 107. So today's Ringer 107 is brought to you by FanDuel. We're in this competition with all the other Ringer podcasts about who we are picking 5 bets against the spread each week, but all the playoff games. So now it's all the playoff games each week.
And after the regular season, our squad somehow first place.
We're in first. We're in first.
I promise that we have spent the least amount of time doing this as any other group in this battle, and we are shockingly somehow barely in first place. So you want to just go beginning to end? We got to pick every single one of these games. You want to just start with Rams-Panthers and work our way down?
Yeah, sure.
Rams-Panthers. The Rams are favored by 10.5. It's in Carolina.
It's a tough line.
If my life depended on like me getting this right, part of me wonders if I'd take the Panthers. But if I think we just look dumber taking the Panthers and losing.
I think this game's gonna be like 24-3.
I think as stupid analysis as this is, the fact that it comes down to the Rams played the Panthers before and they're mad. I kind of want to just lay the points with the Rams and then be mad at Sean McVay if they can't cover.
I agree. I think it should be Rams 10.5. Everyone's going to be on that, but yes, I agree. The Packers are playing in Chicago. The Packers are favored by 1.5 on the road. Heifetz likes Green Bay. I like Chicago.
I wanted Green Bay, and I did think they were going to get points. You could argue that makes me think that maybe the Bears are the better bet. DK, what do you? I kind of think the Packers win, but it's gut. But I agree, the Bears going to be able to run.
I'm willing to be overruled. DK, whichever way you swing, I'm happy to pick Green Bay.
This is so hard.
Who do we want to root for? I'm okay just being. Oh wait, maybe in the future rounds we'll like let my fucking cat pick and just see what he picks.
I feel like this is really hard because my gut says the Bears are going to be able to run on the Packers. And they'll be able to control the game that way. But the Packers offense against the Bears defense scares me. I don't know who wins in that little argument. So
okay.
I think I want to go with the Bears.
Okay.
We could just take the Bears covering and then we just have a little bit of leeway.
1 point. Yeah.
Right.
Well, the way the Bears game
they could lose by 1 and we could still win.
That's very true. All right. We'll pencil that in.
Pencil it in, yeah, on the dance card.
Next game, the Bills are playing the Jags in Jacksonville, and the Bills are favored by 1.5 points.
I want the Jags getting points. if you guys want to be like, don't be all fucking fancy. Josh Allen's the best player in the world, but like, if we can quantify quarterback play with fantasy points, the fact that Trevor Lawrence had the most fantasy points ever in the fantasy football playoffs, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I'm okay taking the Jags if you want to.
Yeah.
Josh Allen has a foot injury, which he's going to play, but the fact that he has to be a superhero, sergeant, whatever, and Band of Brothers running through the village. And I don't know.
Lieutenant
I
Spears.
agree.
Lieutenant Spears.
Everyone is going to be on Green Bay. Jacksonville.
Should I ask my cat?
Yes, your cat.
Is everyone going to be on Jacksonville? I don't know.
I think so. I don't care
Josh
what
Allen
he's doing.
Well, it matters.
We haven't asked that question once all year, and we're in first place.
All right. Well, there were 16 games to choose from. Now there's 6. But yeah,
Fuck that.
That makes a huge. It makes a huge difference if we're all choosing the same games. But
if I want to guess what people would pick, I wouldn't have picked it. Sal and DeBundo picked the Saints like 8 times this year. I wouldn't have thought that one time.
If your life was on the line, would you still take the Jags?
Yeah, I think they're such a better team, and I think Josh is I think the Bills are. I mean, dude.
All right.
The Bills' run game fucking sucks. The run defense sucks, dude.
Okay. All right, we'll take the Jags.
I guess with my life on the line, Josh Allen's pretty scary.
I don't feel great about this, but yeah.
All right, you want to do the Bills?
No, I mean, look, I also think the Jags are going to win. Or that's like my if nothing's on the line, I would take.
Well, we could Costanza it, and it's like a calculated Costanza because I feel really strongly about it. You want to go Bills?
I don't want to talk about Costanza yet. Let's pencil in Jags now and keep moving.
Okay.
Niners, Eagles. This game's in Philly. The Eagles are favored by 4.5. DK likes the Niners. I like the Eagles.
My gut's Eagles. I would
just go Eagles. Just go Eagles.
Okay. Chargers at New England. The Patriots are favored by 3.5. I probably think New England.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
Texans.
And then here we go, Monday night. With discount double check. Texans at Steelers in Pittsburgh. The Steelers are 3-point underdogs.
Texans. Come on. DK, come on. What do we?
I mean, I think the Texans, but
well, then it doesn't matter what I think.
So Rams. So we do Rams, Bears, Jags, Eagles, Patriots, Texans.
Yeah. How many underdogs do we have? We're taking
Bears.
I guess
taking the Jags.
Technically, Jags. Technically,
just Bears and Jags.
Otherwise, it's favorites.
Yeah. Part of me thought, should we just take all 6 dogs?
Theoretically, we could take the Steelers, and the Texans could still win. Obviously, this is a small margin for error, but it's gonna be a low scoring, close game, probably, right?
We've joked all year we would take one of our weeks and just flip all our picks.
Flip them. So if we do that, we'd be taking the Panthers plus 10.5.
Wait, hold on. Plus 10.5.
The Panthers plus 10.5. The Packers minus 1.5. The Bills minus 1.5. The Niners plus 4.5. The Chargers plus 3.5, and the Steelers plus 3.
I don't actually hate it.
Should we just flip? Just flip it? Just...
The reason why I didn't want you to bring up Costanza is because I thought going into this that this might. I was like, I want to earnestly pick who we think is going to win, and then potentially just pull out the spatula and flip the whole thing.
This is what I wrote down. Those are all the pick. The initial batch we agreed on is everything I wanted to take, except I wanted Packers over Bears. But I want you guys to know I feel really strongly about the picks we agreed on initially. So maybe
let's flip it
to 2. And you want to flip it?
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Fuck it.
It's fun.
What flipping it?
just the opposite of what we think.
Yeah. Or hear me out. What if we just take all dogs?
So what would that look like? So that would be Panthers plus 10.5.
Mm-hmm. Then we get the Bears at home. We get the Jags at home. We get the Steelers at home, and then we take the Niners and the Chargers.
I do. Bill's oldest gambling rule is don't take an underdog in the playoffs unless you think they can win outright. And I somehow am more comfortable with 10.5 for the Panthers. I don't want the Steelers. Sorry. I'm literally allergic. I'm getting an allergic reaction
then we have to take
us
them.
Taking the Steelers versus the Texans. I've watched the Texans so many times this year where I'm the idea of taking the Steelers to beat or cover the Texans gives me an allergic reaction.
Aaron Rodgers is gonna have a 75-yard touchdown to DK Metcalf on the first drive, and then we're gonna be like, "Fuck."
I kind of love the idea.
Stroud's gonna go 3 and out. Look like shit.
You know what? The funny part of maybe our original thing would go 4 and 2, and these would go 2 and 4. But it would be so funny if all the other teams put so much effort into their picks. We pick 6 in 5 minutes, and then we're like, you know what? It's probably gonna be the opposite. Just fucking flip it, and then we do the best.
So what do we want? Do we want the dogs, or do we want the flip, or do we want the original?
What do you think, DK?
Oh my god. I kind of want the flip. We've been talking about doing it all fucking
I want
years.
the flip. We got to do it. We got to do the
Let's just
flip.
do it.
Let's do the flip.
So the flip, we're taking the Steelers. You know that.
Oh, fuck. Oh,
This is a good compromise.
it's a good compromise. Oh,
You want to do the flip and keep Houston?
That's tempting fate.
It is. You can't do that
We
because
can't
that's
do
not
that.
the flip.
You
Then.
can't
That's
do
not-
the
it's not
fucking
a flip.
flip and
That's not the flip.
pick and
No,
choose.
You
Do we
go
want to do
2
the
feet
flip
and
or do we
I'm-
want to save the flip for next week?
No,
There's
'cause
no
then a
tomorrow.
pressure to
Fucking
go-
YOLO.
I agree. I'm with DK. Flip it.
All right. So flipping is Panthers, Packers, Bills, Niners, Chargers, Steelers.
Boom.
It makes me so nervous, but
The flip.
whatever.
The flip.
You know what? The implication of being like I don't want to flip implies that we know what the fuck we're talking about. What was our record this year in first place? We're
We're
500?
one below 500.
So whatever.
We literally we just flipped a coin the whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fuck it. Whatever. It's funny because we go 3-3.
Yeah.
All right. Today's Ringer 107 was brought to you by FanDuel. Odds subject to change. Okay. I want to do a couple.
I've never had
emails.
more fun.
That was incredible.
Wow.
Want to do emails with you guys before we get out of here. One, DK loves palindromes. Didn't know that.
I'm super into palindromes.
Super into palindromes. My favorite one someone sent was from Daniel. This is the same forward and backward
D-bone.
spelling. D-bone. Tulsa nightlife. Filth, gin, a slut.
Nice. That's up there. That's up
Okay,
there
that was
with
incredible.
a man, a plan, a canal, Panama.
Yeah, I think that one, Tulsa nightlife, filth, gin, a slut. It's pretty good. Daniel also said that Weird Al has a song called Bob, where he does a Bob Dylan impression, and the entire song is every line is a palindrome.
Oh,
And it's ridiculous.
that's really good.
Wow.
Because that sounds just like the way he sings too.
Yes.
Bob Dylan, I mean.
It's really funny.
Answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
Dude, Austin Gale, who works with us here at The Ringer, is a huge Bob Dylan fan. And Craig just casually, when the movie came out, was like, yeah, Bob Dylan, obviously his voice is terrible. And Austin fucking freaked out. He was like,
Obviously.
what do you mean, bullshit? Bob Dylan's amazing. And then he came back the next day and flipped out.
Shut your mouth.
He was so conflicted. He's like, I didn't sleep last night. I think, unfortunately, Craig, you're right. Bob Dylan doesn't have a good voice, but that's not what it's about.
It's like
And
an
he's right.
existential crisis.
It's not what it's about. He's a brilliant songwriter, but he doesn't have a great voice. I actually think it makes him better.
He's not the only one. He's not the only really
Well,
famous singer with
Then
a
you
bad
guys,
singing voice.
well,
No.
Austin, while you guys were arguing, because like you guys were yelling, Austin was like, his voice, what, you think like Bruce Springsteen voice has a good voice? His voice sucks. And then quietly, you guys didn't notice. I was like, oh my God, does Bruce Springsteen have a bad voice? And then
he's a
I
better
went
voice
back
than
that
Bob
night.
Dylan.
I listened to Springsteen like, fuck, his songs all kind of sound the same shit.
I mean, look, that's not what it's about. Maybe bad singers are better songwriters. Taylor Swift, I would say, is not the most
Yeah.
impressive vocalist. She's a really good writer.
Or the best take you've probably ever had on the show, which is stop letting hot people make music.
You ever
Exact-
heard
Bob
Tom
Dylan.
Waits sing a song?
Yeah, Tom Waits.
Doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, it is what it is. The fact that like Chalamet could just waltz in and just immediately do a fucking perfect Bob Dylan impression lets you know something. It's not that hard.
Do you guys think that Johnny Cash is a good singer? Voice wise.
Yeah,
I think
do.
his voice is just incredible. I don't know if he's a good singer, but the voice
I listened
is
to
unreal.
I think he's a better singer than Dylan.
I was driving home this morning and you know the song It Ain't Me, Babe?
Yeah.
I was just like it's a harmonizing with June Carter, I think. And it's like I was just like, man, he is just really mailing this in, it sounds like.
It's a different time. He's probably just drunk off his ass.
It ain't
Johnny
me,
Cash, I think, is like
babe, it ain't me you're looking
I almost feel like he
for,
just wasn't
babe.
trying, but he did have a good voice.
Yeah. I don't, to be clear, I don't think he has a bad voice. I just think in that song, I was just like, man, he's really just, this is not his best work.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have that good of a voice.
Well,
I don't know.
speaking of singing voices, the other thing we talked about in our last episode was we were talking about that song "Losing Control," where it's like, Craig, can you do an impression
Losing control.
by Teddy Swims?
I lose control or whatever.
I'm not doing that.
Do it so people know what we're talking about. How else
Craig,
will
the
people
one
know?
time Craig is like,
I'm
no.
not doing it because I can't do it. And I don't want to do it.
DK?
It's impossible to sing. It's really hard.
Well, so Craig was saying I hate that song. I
Something
hate
like
like no, I'm not doing it either. You're right. I get it. But,
Lose control. Yeah.
and then Craig's like, I hate that song. So we got two answers about this that I think are good. One is from our friend Jackson Bevins,
Yes.
who Cigar Thoughts,
JB.
who texted us and said, my theory is that Craig hates Lose Control by Teddy Swims because it reminds him, as he said, of beautiful things by Benson Boone, and Craig hates Benson Boone. And that reminds him of Steph Curry, Craig's hero, fangirling in the front row of the Benson Boone concert, which is the only time in Craig's life that his hero made him cringe.
And I texted back, that's probably right.
It's like the transitive property.
Yeah. I do think I thought about it more. We texted more, and I think it all kind of like trickles down to Bruno Mars. And I think the genre that I'm calling it is it's mom rock. And I think it's more Benson Boone and Bruno Mars than it is Teddy Swims. But it's something about it's like songs that you can enjoy the song enough, you can sing along to it. It's kind of like wedding music a little bit. It's like you can't say that's your favorite. You know what I mean? It's mom rock. So and it's okay.
It's like one of those songs everyone knows, but it's no one's favorite song.
Well, there's mom rock, and then there's the voice thing. Someone emailed in, Jesse emailed in and said it was talent show songs, which I also thought is something.
Oh, well, another song that I don't like is James Blunt, You're Beautiful. Hate that song.
You're beautiful.
And I think it's kind of in that same range. It's like flexing the vocals.
Yeah, I told Craig that after we got off the show yesterday. I was just like, I think the songs that you don't like are the ones where the singer tries to put their finger to their ear when they're getting all the different like octaves in one word.
And it's often men.
When we were in high school, I tried singing. There's is it One Direction where it's like, that's what makes you beautiful or whatever. They were like trying to sing that, and I thought they were talking about the other song that you just mentioned, James Blunt. So I went, "You're beautiful," and I can't sing anyway. And they literally they still bring it up.
That's
like,
really funny.
Constantly, because they're like they and then I was like, no, I was thinking of the other one, and they just were like, you're a fucking moron.
That's you chose the way harder song to sing.
Yeah, well, it didn't work. But so here's my question for you: what about like Shabuzi, where it's party down on 6th Street?
Yeah,
is that mom rock? Because that's not a voice.
I'm a shot of whiskey. Yeah,
I think that's the litmus test. That's pop.
It's a subgenre of like mom pop rap.
Mom pop, because it's not
country pop rap.
Country pop rap. Because it's not highlighting his voice. You know what a funny thing I've learned is?
You're right.
My dad, like anyone, gets, his musical taste was locked in whenever he's how old, and then you like stop learning new music.
Yeah,
and he's older. And what's funny is, so he's a dentist, but I never realized this, but he has a radio in the office, so they have Bluetooth, whatever, and so they actually listen to a lot of music. So I never realized this, but my dad's musical taste now includes, he loves that fucking song and he can sing every word.
Shabuzi?
It came on and we were there and he knew every word to, he's like, oh, I love this one. There's a party down on 6th Street. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Avicii.
It's called a bar song.
Dude, my dad was like, have you heard of this Avicii guy? Play that.
Have I heard of Avicii? Father, he raised me more than you did. Okay.
Dude. He was just like, what's that one? It goes like, hey, brother.
Oh, great song.
I know. And I was like, Dad.
There's a world out there to rediscover. Great song.
I don't actually know that one. Dude, I mean, I recognize it, but I'm not.
You would probably recognize the drop.
You're not raised in the lore.
No. That's really interesting. But yeah, there is I don't know what the genre is exactly. But mom rock is my loose name for it. But
modern yacht rock.
Shabuzi's a little different.
Mom rock is there's something to it. Keep emailing us and we can figure out a genre name for this. Mom rock's pretty good though. One last email for you guys. Jesse, this is from Jesse. On raw dogging flights. So obviously we made DK last year losing the picks contest. We made him raw dog the flight and hit us at middle seat between us from New Orleans to Los Angeles. Middle seat. No entertainment, had to just stare straight ahead. Couldn't sleep, couldn't use his phone, couldn't listen to music, nothing. You got off the plane and you were like, I reorganized my entire life. I reprioritized what kind of man, what kind of husband, what kind of father I want to be.
I did.
And I'm a better person.
A lot there, yeah.
And I was like, would you ever do it again? He was like, absolutely not.
Once a decade.
So anyway, Jesse emailed us and said, I need the podcast's complete thoughts on, I can't pronounce this again, Ruben Östlund's upcoming movie. The Entertainment System is Down is the name of the movie. The Entertainment System is Down. The log line of the movie is set on a long-haul flight where the entertainment systems fail. An eclectic group of international passengers are forced to face the horror of being bored. This movie has Keanu Reeves.
I mean,
How did they not name it Raw Dogging?
Marketing lost that one.
What is
Keanu Reeves is Raw Dog.
They really fucked up.
Dude, Kirsten Dunst and Keanu Reeves and cousin Greg from Succession are in this movie.
My God.
Cousin Greg. Yeah, this guy's made like really weird movies. Like, did you ever see Triangle of Sadness?
No, I think I heard the title and was like, not for me.
It's like a bunch of rich people are on a boat and the boat like crashes, and it's basically like a Lord of the Flies vibe.
Oh.
He made that movie The Square. That's interesting. I did not know about this movie. I love that the title is The Entertainment System is Down is the name of the movie.
So funny.
That sounds great. I'm all in on that.
Wait, who's Nicholas Braun?
He's Cousin
That's
Greg.
Cousin Greg.
Oh, I see.
Like
Okay.
6'8".
Got it.
Okay. I think that's all
Cool.
we got.
Oh wait, I have you guys probably saw this in the group text weeks ago. Austin
I've been
spoiled
waiting.
it.
Been waiting for this.
I watched Lord of the Rings
Yes!
over the break, and like a moron, I logged it on Letterboxd, forgetting that Austin Gale is on Letterboxd and follows me. And of course, he like flies into the group chat. He's like, all caps, Craig, you watched Lord of the Rings? I was like, you moron! That's supposed to be a surprise. And he saw it on Letterboxd, but I watched them with Liz, her two brothers, her dad, and her sister. They're all and her mom.
They're all super into Lord of the Rings.
They all her brothers have seen Lord of the Rings more than any movie ever.
Mm.
They've probably seen them upwards of. I actually asked them. They like took 10 minutes to think about it. They think they've seen them about 75 times each.
Well,
Good
Bill
Lord.
didn't have them on the Lord of the Rings on his most rewatchable. I'm like, they're certainly the most rewatched movies of our lifetime.
He's never seen-
75?
seen
That
them.
is that's up there.
It's not even close that they're the most rewatched movies.
Bill's never seen them, so he can't make his
It's
list.
true.
Um,
They're watchable.
But I watched them back to back to back, one each
Right in a
night.
row. Oh,
not
okay,
not in
okay.
one day, one
Okay,
each
okay.
night.
Did you
And
take notes each day?
I didn't take notes.
He's
But-
like, I'm trying to enjoy my life.
I honestly, yes. I was like, I want to enjoy the movie. I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
like taking notes.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of just sit in it. I really enjoyed them. I really liked them. I thought they were great. I totally get the hype. I think they've very much delivered. Like, I of course I can see why they are so beloved. I think my biggest takeaway was how influential you can tell the story is to so many things that came after it. I know these books were written like 100 years ago, and like you can see Lord of the Rings in like Star Wars, Avengers, Indiana Jones, obviously Game of Thrones. There's a lot there with George R.R. Martin. It's just crazy. I mean, it's basically like the modern Western story of like the hero's journey. It was great. I have like smaller takes if you want me to give you those, or if you have any questions for me.
This pod can go as long as I want. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, clear your schedule. Hold on. First question? I really just am genuinely curious. Which one did you like the most?
The second one.
Okay.
Yeah,
The two buildings.
100%.
The two buildings. That makes a lot of sense. Helm's Deep.
My favorite.
Good battle.
If I had to rank them, I would go 2, 3, 1.
Oh, you
Correct.
liked one the least? I like one the most.
I agree. This beginning of one is slow, and if you didn't read the books, I think it's kind of like, all right, let's
Oh,
get to
I
the
love
fighting
it. I
and
want to
shit.
live in the Shire. I loved every moment of the Shire. I don't know. I just love number one. But I mean, obviously, they're all good.
No, I'm with Craig. 2, 3, 1 is my order as well.
2, 3, 1 is my order.
I'm 1, 2, 3.
I'm usually like the bit about me is like I think movies should be shorter. I don't think these should be shorter. Like honestly, it's a tremendous buildup, and like you almost need to feel exhausted like with Frodo on the journey. And then by the time you're done, you're like, Jesus Christ, we fucking did it. We did it. We did it together.
Yeah. You
I-
climbed Mount Doom.
Yes, I didn't realize how big of a character Samwise Gamgee is. I like Gamgee. I don't know why I thought Sean Astin was a smaller part of those movies. Loved him. I don't understand the Legolas hype. I don't understand why Orlando Bloom, like, that was a big deal. I felt like that character was the least explored, and he's not like that cool or funny. I mean, he's like a great, archer or whatever, but like Boromir and Aragorn, like all those guys are way cooler and more interesting to me. And I was talking about this with Liz, and we're like, why did Orlando Bloom and Legolas become so popular? And we were like, because I mean, Viggo Mortensen in those movies, more attractive.
Perfect.
Way more attractive than Orlando Bloom. But the only difference is like Viggo Mortensen is, I don't know, pushing 40 maybe in the movie. And I wonder if it's like, young girls and young people are like, oh, Orlando Bloom's like 22 and hot.
You got to remember,
young guy.
Pirates of the Caribbean came out, which
After that, but
there were a lot. But I feel like Orlando Bloom made 7 movies and made like $100 million or something. But like they were like every year it was coming out. But it was cooler though. Like I remember I was telling someone or Jack the other day, and I was like, oh, it's so cool about Legolas, and like him and Gimli or Tucker, like they're doing the count of how many people they're killing during, and then they were doing it, and it was one of those like you're like, oh, you like this, and then she was just staring. I'm like, oh, this isn't as funny.
That's in the books.
He's just to me like by far the least interesting character.
I think in the movies they didn't like he doesn't have like a ton of dialogue. Like he doesn't talk all that much. There's all like there's like these funny things on Instagram and stuff that it's like, here's every moment that two women talk to each other in the movie, and it's like, where's mother? And it's like, that's it.
Yeah.
In the entire 3 movies, it's like a little kid. There's kind of that kind of too with Legolas. Like, he just doesn't talk to like half the characters. I think he talks to Aragorn a few times, and that's about it. He barely talks to Frodo the entire
They're taking the
fucking
hobbits
series.
to Isengard.
Yeah.
It's like,
I will say though, I think, and maybe this is wrong, but I think people are just fascinated with the elves. I think the elves are super cool. You know, like they live forever. He's an elf king, or a prince, and he like lives in the wood. He's like all that stuff. I think is cool, and like he's a very cool character in the books.
Yeah. Well, that's funny because there were times when I would pause and then ask a couple of questions. And what Jake, one of my brother-in-law, said, he was like, it's been so long since I've ever watched this with somebody who hasn't seen them before. And they've read all the books. They know them so well. He was like, they actually really don't hold your hand too much in these movies. Like there is a lot in there. And like, I forget if it's in the first or second movie where Frodo and Sam throw the cloak over themselves. I think it's on Mount Doom. And the cloak like looks like a rock and disguises them. They don't tell you why that happens or why that's there, why he has that. And Jake's like, oh yeah, there's like a whole thing in the book about that. Or
it's
like
elf magic.
Yes. Or like the eagles that Gandalf jumps on that saves him. He's like, that's just not explained in the movies at all. And I was like, what's up with this, magical eagle? And he's like, oh yeah, right. That's like more in the books. And he was like, I guess I didn't realize that, which I kind of respect that they don't walk you through and describe expositionally what every single thing is in the movie.
and that's why Game of Thrones is popular. Like, I mean, Game of Thrones, you could watch it as a just show watcher, it was cool. But if you were the book, like if you had read the books, then you knew like so much more about the show, and you almost like
the depth. Yeah,
I mean, Jason Concepcion would have these like columns at Grantland about like breaking down Thrones, and I like I was like, I didn't know any of this shit. But Lord of the Rings was like that too. I haven't actually read the books for Lord of the Rings, but I would watch the movies, and honestly, it was just like, oh, look at these wolf bears killing them in the middle of the field. That's
the wargs.
Cool. Yeah, I think so many questions.
It is very much this similar to like the Game of Thrones thing, where like it depends on how deep you want to go into it. Like you can just watch Game of Thrones and it's very entertaining, or you could go do a deep dive, listen to binge mode, and like find out all about how all the families are connected. They go back. They go back 1,000 years. Like I feel like in the movies you don't really know who Galadriel is, and she's just like some elf woman that you don't really know that much about. But obviously in the books she's like one of the most powerful elves of all time, kind of deal.
Is
so
she?
it's like, well, she was one of the originals that they gave the rings to, the ring wraiths. So, like, I haven't read the books in like 15 years, so I'm probably
like, all right, nerd.
I didn't care that much.
But she's like one of the older elves, and she's very powerful and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but there's like a lot that they don't specifically go into in the movies. There's also extended versions if you want to go a little different, go deeper.
Yeah. And they're already starting to like come into my timeline. Also, there's so many things that like, what was the phrase you just said? They're taking the elves to Isengard.
They're taking the elves to Isengard.
Wasn't that like a song, like early internet in like 2008 that became a jingle?
Oh yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of
so many
of
those.
Amazing viral video. I don't remember who made it. That was like, why the fuck didn't Gandalf just fly Frodo on the eagle like the first time? Like that would have been so much easier.
There's this whole conspiracy that when he says "fly, you fools," when he's falling into the cavern, he's like, "Fly, you fools!"
And he was like trying to say, "We're crossing this mountain to meet the eagles," and he's like, "Don't walk the whole way."
No, it's a conspiracy. It's not real. There's like, I think Tolkien was asked about this.
It didn't really happen. It's just like, why didn't they just fly?
Right. Well, because it would ruin the whole fucking story. That's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's all these, deep dives into like why he said that, because that was verbatim from the book. He says that in the book.
We're gonna get a 10,000 word explanation from someone on why they didn't fly.
I know. I'm sure I'm fucking up a lot of it. I read the books.
The ghosts are screaming right now.
I haven't read the book since I was like 21. So just give me a break.
The reason also, Craig, I think I wanted, and anyone who hasn't seen, like someone like Bill, who's like at the very least watched the last 40 minutes of the Two Towers. Also, the fact that Craig calls it the Two Buildings is the funniest thing in the entire show. But
La 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 la.
But that's the other part I was upset about. You don't see Saruman's death.
It just goes crunch.
It's in the it's in the extended version. It's not in the movie.
Is that true?
Yes, it's not in the theatrical cut. You don't see his death. At the end of Two Towers, he just like walks back into the castle, and that's the last you see of him.
Oh, you mean the guy? No, the wizard guy, not
Saruman.
Saruman.
When he falls onto the like.
Yeah, that is in the extended. Yeah.
Am I kind of on your corner right now, Heifetz? I'm kind of like, I'm not talking about Sauron. I'm talking about Saruman. Okay.
Right. Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up. But yes, the meme of him like falling and getting impaled is not in the theatrical cut at all. He just walks back. And then at the start of the third movie, I thought there would be a showdown between Gandalf and Sauron that I would see, and that's not in it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No.
So now I got to watch the extendeds, which are legitimately 4.5 hours each.
Wait, so
you did it at the perfect time. You can't. There's not really a time that's easy other than like the holidays to be like, do you have 12 hours?
Yeah.
Did you give us all your notes? I want to hear if you had any other notes.
One thing that was funny, watching with a bunch of people who had grown up with these movies and saw them when they were kids, they all hate Gollum and thought it was really gross and scary when they were a kid. And they think the scenes are like too long. They don't need them. It's like too much. It's too much Gollum. Didn't bother me at all. I thought he was a very interesting character. I liked Gollum. I thought all those scenes with like them on the mountain on their trip and like I thought all of that was really good. And I thought they were like, how many times does he have to like talk to himself of like the two sides of him? Like it's just too much. And I was into it.
When you're a
That's
kid
fair.
and watching it, it's on like TNT and there's commercial breaks. You're like, oh my God, I need to fast forward through this. I cannot watch
No,
this.
I would
Jesus.
posit you only need to watch those scenes once.
Yes. 100%.
When I rewatch the movies now, I fast forward those scenes.
Yeah. You can't. I can't. Like, I get it. I get it.
You want to be
Power
with your
clips, yeah.
pals.
I'm
doing fun stuff.
like, dude, all right, we get it. Like the ring is heavy. Like, okay, keep going. Can we just move along here? I want to see some fucking fights and stuff. I want to see him fight the Urukai.
Craig, you know what's fun now that you've seen it is an absolute one of the biggest Instagram wormholes is all the behind the scenes content of how they made these movies is amazing. And like, it's basically endless, but the Nazgul, the like guys who ride the little dragon things or whatever, the sound, the sound they make when they screech is like, it's a donkey.
Oh, really?
It's a fucking donkey.
Oh, is that
makes
right?
That sound. So when it's like,
interesting.
"Wah!" and everyone screams and runs, it's like a fucking like random donkey in New Zealand made that
There's
sound.
some really cool forced perspective stuff that, like when Gandalf is in Bilbo's house in the
Oh
Shire,
yeah, those are cool. I like
they do
those.
some crazy stuff to make him look big and make Bilbo look small. Like there's a whole scene when he sits down at the desk to have like tea or whatever. There's like the desk is cut in half and Gandalf is moving like backwards towards the camera as the camera's also moving backwards. Like Gandalf is dollying away from Bilbo, but you can't see it on screen because the camera's moving at the same speed as Gandalf. So it's like very still. It's kind of like the Jaws shot a little bit. It's like,
Is that called a smash zoom? What is that called?
I don't think it's a smash zoom.
But I know what you're talking. But you're right though that it came. I think one of the original movies that did it was like the Jaws scene. They do that a few times.
Well, the Jaws scene is with characters who are standing still, and you are zooming in on the lens as you push back on the dolly. This is a forced perspective where literally Gandalf and the camera are moving backwards at the same speed, but Bilbo and everybody else are staying in the background. So it makes everybody look bigger, but the camera doesn't look like it's moving. It's fascinating.
I also think just from some of the details, what I love about these movies is they get so many of the details right. And like as someone that read the books and then watched or whatever, like watched the movies at the same time, it was like, oh damn, they really they spent a lot of time thinking about this. I know that they did where they made the ring like magnetic, so when it fell, it would just like stick to the ground, like it was really heavy and like really really weighty. This is not just a fucking regular ring.
Sure.
I always like that stuff too. It's just cool.
The videos that I feel like there's some videos that now at this point just like AI slap ended up like just recirculating on my algorithm from different accounts, but the same ones circulate because they do well. And there's Peter Jackson, the sound of all the Urukai like stomping and like how they get like an army of 30,000. He went to a soccer game or a rugby game in New Zealand and asked 50,000 people to fucking make a bunch of sounds. And he walks on the pitch. He has no shoes on. And he's just like, all right, everyone, like we're making the movie. You've probably heard of it. So it's like, can everyone go like this? It's like, ooh, ha, ha, ha. And then like everyone just starts playing, ooh, ha, ha, ha. And he just has them make these freaking chants. And it was like, it actually is, it's so cool. And then the other one is that Boromir, I forget, the Ned Stark, what's his name? Sean Bean. He won't do helicopters, so he had to walk up to the top of the mountain to film everything in the first movie because everyone was helicoptered up. They didn't bring the makeup team up, so he would have to get in makeup in full like metal armor. Like they had like one family make 8,000 chain link armors or something, like to real metal. He had to walk up this mountain every day in chain link, and he'd get up there, and they were worried he was gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah, makes me want to go to New Zealand. Also, I think, dude, the aerial shots when they are walking on the mountains of New Zealand are some of the most astonishing, breathtaking shots of all time. I love that like every 30 minutes, there is just a helicopter shot sweeping through the mountains of New Zealand. It is stunning.
They're really there.
They
instead of
really
making
there.
It fucking CGI bullshit.
don't do
Excuse
that
me
anymore.
when I was because like when I was 9, I watched the Oscars and they gave 12 Oscars to Lord of the Rings, the third one, and I was like, okay, cool. So cool movies win, and it wasn't how it would be, but I just thought the Oscars were for cool movies.
Yeah,
I mean they are, but you know the Fast and the Furious hasn't been rewarded. Turns
it's
out
cool when like the movie that you loved the most and was like very successful commercially as well wins all the Oscars. That's usually kind of fun.
Yeah, like I'm 9 years old. I'm like, that was great. I'm like, they're really nailing this. Yeah.
Yeah. The only other thing is that it ends for like 40 minutes.
There was like 11 endings in the third movie that they could.
Every time I was like, wow, this is the ending. And then it's like, and we're back.
100%.
Are they getting on the boat? Yeah. All right. They're good. Now it's going to end.
Also, in the book, Saruman comes back and takes over the Shire.
Right.
And then there's a whole battle there.
The raising of the Shire or something
yes,
like
that Merry and Pippin are like very involved in taking down Saruman in the Shire.
Dude,
yeah, the raising of the Shire, I think it's called. It's like and Merry and Pippin are like way bigger because they drank that water with the Ent water. Do you remember this?
Oh.
So they're like
tree water,
they've
right.
grown. They've grown
way.
a bunch, and so they are like they organize the defense of the Shire.
That was a smart cut.
There's also this whole Tom Bombadil thing that they just completely cut out of the movies that were like it's like totally pointless.
My friend Matt, who's my college roommate, has tried to tell me about Tom Bombadil for 15 years, and I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking listen to you talk about Tom Bombadil.
The other thing, Craig, that the other like wrinkle that like makes it interesting is J.R.R. Tolkien wrote the book. He wrote it as a mythology of like England. So basically England at the time he didn't think had like a mythology to it. Like you know, the Scandinavian countries all have a mythology, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. But he also like based some of the characters and some of the story on like his experience in World War One. And so like a lot of people think I could be getting this wrong, but I think it's like a lot of people think that he based the character of Sam on his best friend in the war who had died. And like anyway, so there's like layers to it.
Is it true that it started as just a bedtime story he told his kids, and then he just kept expanding it? And then he was like, "I'll write this down."
Over the course of like 50 years, and he was also like a brilliant linguist, so he like literally wrote languages of all the different beings in the book. And they've got he has the whole world of Middle Earth and Valinor and all the other like the elf stuff, and like the whole history of it is in the Silmarillion. Anyway, it's very fascinating stuff. But the movies, I'm glad that you could watch just the movies and like it, because it's like obviously there's a whole world of it too.
I did it.
You did it. We
nice.
did it. We did it. Okay. Email the various people who are angry at us for whatever we got wrong or whatever.
I did my best. Come on, I did my best.
You did good. No, they're mad.
People
at
be
me.
mad at me probably.
This is like when we talked about Dune, and DK's like, "Hold up, I read Dune 20 years ago," and we're trying to remember.
I did not read Dune. I don't know anything about it.
Email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com for whatever
Have
Lord
you
of the Rings
seen
stuff you
Dune?
want to send us.
Yeah, I love Dune. I love both of them.
This year, next one's coming out.
I have not watched the show yet. Did you watch the show?
No.
The show is out?
There's a show that's like it's like a different story.
Is that
I'm a little
animated?
concerned that that's
No,
out.
not
I didn't
animated.
know.
It comes out. The new Dune,
something
Dune 3 comes out
Prophecy?
same day as Avengers Doomsday.
Is it Dune Prophecy is the show?
Doomsday? That's
Avengers Doomsday is coming out the
Doomsday.
same as Dune 3.
wink, wink. Okay. All right. Thank you, TK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Cam. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Next episode on Netflix. Can watch it for free on Spotify. Can listen to it wherever. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Peter Jackson. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, Richard Armitage, who sang the
Misty Mountains.
Misty Mountains song.
Let's go.
Which is from The Hobbit, right?
Right. It's from the Hobbit movie, which
The
is
Hobbit's-
another whole trilogy that's based on the book The Hobbit, but
It's not as good, but it works.
it's still worth a watch. It's just definitely not as good.
Dude, the lighting of the towers or whatever that's called moment
Oh,
is sick.
dude, the beacons are lit.
The beacons, yeah.
Light the beacons.
Also, there is a particular 3-horn score. I forget like how it's actually. I believe it's like one army. It's like there's sound, but there's like a 3-horn score that plays through all 3 movies that is fucking incredible.
Is it the Elf Army?
How's it go?
You talking about the score though? If you're DK, like you're like me, where it's like if you want to get like work done, depends what kind of work you're doing, but sometimes it's hard to like listen to music with words in it. If you're trying to get something done, it depends on what you're doing. the Lord of the Rings soundtrack, especially the first Fellowship, but like the soundtracks to listen to as background music are unbelievable.
Yeah, 100%. You know what part of the lore or whatever, like the mythology that I really like is in J.R.R. Tolkien's version of everything. It's like he wrote it as a mythology, and so he basically insinuates or wrote specifically that hobbits are still around, but you just can't really see them because they're really sneaky, and like just when they don't want to be seen, they can't be seen.
Sneaky little shits like
they're
Purdy.
sneaky little
Brock
shits like
Purdy.
Purdy. Brock Purdy's
He's
basically
a
a hobbit, and that's why the hobbits were so well equipped to carry the ring, because they're sneaky little shits who can just pass by without anyone noticing.
We're losing Craig's interest.
No, I'm actually locked in. How dare you?
Okay, can we start talking about the food thing yet, or how we doing
What
on that?
DK wanted me to do the whole like, or no, Heifetz. Which one of you wanted me to do the food
I wanted
pairing?
you to do the food pairing.
DK was like, do a food. Craig was like, I'm thinking about watching them. Craig has made it 31 years or whatever and not watched Lord of the Rings. And DK's like, what if you cooked like a multi-course dinner along with
Craig
each of the
likes-
movies? And then
Craig
DK got
likes
super
cooking.
offended. We were like, that's not a good idea. And DK's like, what did I say? And we're like,
I
it's
do
a lot
like
of work.
cooking, but the idea of having to prepare like 5 dishes before watching this movie felt like a lot.
Here,
That's fair.
make some things for this movie you've never seen.
Make some lambus bread.
Yeah.
Bake a bread before you watch a 4-hour movie.
That sounds fucking fantastic.
Why don't you send me the bread? Send me the lambus bread.
Lambus bread. All right,
All right.
I'll do that.
Goodbye, everyone. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.